I think this guy's girlfriend should be allowed to look, not touch.
Chris Ello.
When are you going to realize that I don't listen to you?
And Matt Skraby.
He's got dumps like a charm.
Cisco.
Yeah.
Don't blame us for any side effects.
You thrilled our fans throughout the postseason with a great performance.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
Swinging a drive into right. Carroll going back at the warning track, looking up, and it's gone! Ryan O'Hearn, a game-tying solo home run in the ninth inning. His first home run as a San Diego Padre.
And it was a big one, Sam Levitt, a big one indeed. Welcome into Gwynn and Chris, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. 2:01 is the time. Chris Ello, Matt Skraby together in our Odyssey Palace studios here in San Diego, California. Tony Gwynn Jr. idle today. Ryan O'Hearn hits that home run last night. What a blow. I mean, this is a game that you kind of felt you had lost. And Ryan O'Hearn saves the day. You go on to win the ball game 3-2. As Ryan O'Hearn's ball sailed over the right center field fence last night at Chase Field, how many people were thinking about Tanner Smith? Anybody?
I'm sorry, who?
Right? Anybody thinking about Victor Figueroa?
Oh, I was.
Okay. How about Tyson Neighbors? Were you thinking of him at all?
Actually, I have heard of him, so I may have
you know
thought
where
of
I'm
him.
going with this?
Yes, I do.
Was anybody thinking missing Cobb Hightower as that ball flew into the seats?
Personally, I was not missing him.
No. How about Boston Bateman? Anybody have a hankering for him as the ball left the yard last night?
People think he's going to be pretty good, Chris.
We'll see. And we hardly miss Brandon Butterworth either. Those are the six.
Or Brandon Butterworth.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Those are the six players that the Padres parted with to get the likes of Ryan O'Hearn. And, of course, we already know Ramon Laureano's paying dividends as well. Hey, you're right, Scrape. All six could go on to greatness and be enshrined one day in Cooperstown. But for right now, what a one-sided deal this is. I mean, look at these guys. Neighbors and Butterworth are the only two guys that are even as high as AA right now. The other four guys are in single A. Now, it doesn't mean they won't someday be great, but they got to be at least 2 years away, right? Anyway, we're getting Ryan O'Hearn right now, and I'm pretty sure we're happy to have him.
Yes.
Again, they win another game that they really shouldn't win. And this has been, before the trade deadline that happened, now I kind of feel confident that it will happen. You know what I mean? I get it. Nestor Cortez didn't blow me away, but he also left with the score 2-0. We were still in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of a bases loaded, no out jam, gave up one run. He had a couple of double plays along the way that helped him out of some situations. So, we're still in the game. And here's the difference I see between now and before the trade deadline. Last night, the Padres didn't mess this up. Be honest with you, the Diamondbacks made a really good play. But in the fifth inning, you had runners at first and third, 2 out. You had to rise up. Base hit gets you on the scoreboard. Padres go double steal. And Cronenworth tries to sneak in the back door, and he's out by 5 feet.
Yeah.
Really good play by Perdomo to read that. McCann made a good throw. Perdomo right back. Anyway, I thought good play by them. You as a Padre fan, you're like, what are we doing? Well, that kind of thing's been working this year.
Yes.
But here's my thing. The fact that didn't work 2 weeks ago probably would have derailed the game. Now they can afford something to not go right. They were playing with such a small window, no room for error. I was saying, right?
Yeah.
They have some room for error now. They could take a shot like that. Man, he struck out with a couple of guys on. Look, somebody still might come through. And, I mean, Xander Bogaerts did this again. Look, I made a big deal out of it yesterday. He's still hitting 152 with runners in scoring position. But get him up there without runners in scoring position, he's dangerous. And, man, big home run. The double was just as big. Give Cronenworth credit. He gets the sacrifice down. You know, we take that for granted sometimes. We shouldn't, because major leaguers are not guaranteed to get a sacrifice bunt down anymore. And then you knew Iglesias was going to single to right field, didn't you?
You just feel it.
You just feel it.
OMG.
Yeah. I mean, he's just going to hit a line drive to right field. Corbin Carroll should have just come in and stood behind the second baseman and waited for the ball.
He knew what was happening.
It was so automatic that he was going to line drive a ball to right field. And look, it doesn't hurt to have Mason Miller on a day when Suarez is down. And baseball, maybe more than any other sport, gives us these interesting and fun situations. And what I mean here is, of course, Lourdes Gurriel was the first guy up.
Of course.
In the bottom of the ninth.
Oh, yes.
That is baseball, to a T. And Mason Miller, you knew okay, look, if I was Gurriel, I would have been sitting on a first pitch slider because you knew he couldn't come in with another fastball. But what Gurriel didn't know is that he was going to throw 3 sliders in a row.
Yep.
And he made mincemeat out of him on this one. So look, this is another game that you don't think you're going to win, that you do win. And a couple of things, Skraby. You're 2 games back of the Dodgers. You're also a season high now, 13 games over 500. First time all year that they've been this good. They've been 12 games over, I think 3 times previously, and every time they lost that next game. But they win this one, and now they come home, and Boston, comes in over the weekend, and the news just keeps getting better for the Padres. It just does. Look at this guy.
Look, Chris is holding up the Michael King bobblehead.
Look at this guy. King of the Hill. I mean, come on. This is your giveaway item, by the way, next Wednesday night when the Padres – is it next Wednesday or the week after?
August 20th.
Thank
so
you.
Week after.
Okay, week after.
Weeks.
Right. Thank you. Week from Wednesday, this is what you get when the Padres host the Giants. But this Saturday, this is what the Red Sox get.
He's going to look like that? That is a fancy bobblehead.
He's got the gold LeMay.
LeMay?
I don't know. Is that LeMay?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
What's LeMay?
I think it's this. I think this
the material is called LeMay?
I think so. Somebody who's a lot smarter than me can chime in on that.
Cape.
But anyway, Michael King, that's what the Red Sox get on Saturday. He's back. This is, the kind of news that you were dreaming of. Look, Scrabe, he's going to pitch on August 9th. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the 7th.
Yes.
This is Thursday. Tomorrow's
I have no idea what day it is.
Right, I know. So he's going to pitch on August 9th. I honestly would have settled for September 9th. The way it was going. It didn't look like he was going to come back maybe at all. And you're now going to get him for 2 full months. Look, he'll go 5 innings Saturday, whatever he needs to do to kind of get back in the swing of things. But Michael King being back, I mean, this team right now, they don't have any excuses. I'll be honest with you. I shouldn't say this because people are going to say you're going to jinx it, but I'm going to say it anyway. They should catch the Dodgers. They've got everything right now. The bottom of the Padre order, 7, 8, 9, since the trades, has an OPS of 850. Before the trades, it was 550.
Oh, I can tell the difference.
It's a slight improvement, is it not?
It's a huge improvement.
They've got 300
I don't go to the bathroom or make a sandwich during 7, 8, 9 anymore.
I'm back on my diet because earlier I was just having a sandwich every time those guys came up.
All the time.
Look, 7, 8, 9 is dangerous. The first 6 are all good. You can't make a mistake really now to anyone in the lineup. They'll take you deep. I know the Padres statistically are still lacking power. They're second fewest in all of baseball, but that's before. They have enough power now. And I don't, defensively, they've been good. We know they've been good on the edges this year. talking about base running, hitting cutoff men, making plays. They've got the bench now. I mean, look, Gavin Sheets, I am sure this is not easy for him. And I honestly feel for him. I said
too.
it earlier in the week. He has contributed, and without him, we wouldn't even be here. But now he's got to sit there and watch these other guys that are just a little better than he is. That's all. This isn't a slap on him. They're just better. And, but look, he can come off the bench now and get you a hit. So you've got a bench, you've got a 7, 8, 9. Your starting rotation is look, everybody kind of is already given up on JP Sears. I think that's way too early, one start. Cortez, if neither of those guys work out, you wouldn't be in horrible shape if you brought Vasquez back in. This is how deep you are right now.
Yeah.
And then there's the bullpen, which, again, last night, Skraby, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit. That's it. You're not going to get anything. And I think it's the 30th time or 29th time this year that the bullpen's gone 4+ innings without giving up a run. They should catch the Dodgers. I'm not trying to jinx anything. I think that they're better.
Yeah.
They only got a 2-game thing to make up. And I really want to catch the Dodgers. I know everything. We talked about it on the roundtable today, but anything can happen in the playoff. We know this. You can lose the first, et cetera, 2 out of 3 series. Hey, this year, let the Dodgers play the 2 out of 3 series. Let's be the team that takes a few days off and rests, and, we'll take our chances. I would rather be that team this year.
See, I just like to have games to look forward to, so
well, yes.
miss out on the bye so I can watch some games.
No, let's not miss out on the bye, because I'm telling you, if you're in the bye, your likely opponent is going to be Mets, Cubs, Phillies, Brewers. All 4 of those teams could conceivably beat you.
Yes.
So I would rather not have the bye. Anyway, victory last night, off day today. We got a lot for you on the show today, as we always do. Looking forward to it. We're going to talk our Thursday soccer visit.
Yes.
Nick Picotti, play-by-play broadcaster, MLS Season Pass. He'll be on, so you soccer fans, stick around for that. Got a 30-mile zone. We also have 2 more tickets to give away to Saturday's game, so you can go see the return of Michael King when the Padres host the Red Sox. It's all coming up on Gwynn and Chris. Happy to have you with us.
Hey, San Diego, it's Wood.
At Gwynn and Chris for a Thursday. A couple of quick things before we get into the meat of the program. Tomorrow, we will not be at Islands. I don't want everybody to get confused.
Give me some meat.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Don't do that, man. I get starving when I hear that thing. I always think of only, you know what I think of is Wagyu beef, because that's what we kept talking about.
Yeah, that is true.
That's when I learned about Wagyu beef, actually. We will not be at Islands tomorrow. I think some people are a little confused and want to make sure. Look, I go on to Islands, have a nice afternoon. We just won't be there, but we will be there next Friday. All right, so it's August 15th, next Friday. Skraby and I, 2 to 6, Islands Restaurant, Carmel Mountain. Simply take the 15 freeway, get off at Carmel Mountain Road, and go east away from the ocean. All right.
Do you remember the time that I told you how to get to El Camino High School? And
yeah,
well, so
I had problems.
So yeah, it just flashed back my head because you said go away from the ocean.
Right.
I told Chris to get off at a certain exit and just drive away from the ocean. And Chris drove to Julian or something.
I did. There was 2 sites that I did poorly on.
Carlsbad was one.
Carlsbad and El Camino were the 2 that I thought I could find. And it was really before I learned how to properly use the Google app.
Oh, man, it's amazing. Huh?
Now that I have that down, Skraby, I will never get lost again. But, yeah, I was trying to kind of find it on my own. In both cases, it did not work out. But Islands Restaurant, get off at Carmel Mountain Road, go away from the ocean. So if you're going north, you turn right. If you're coming south, you turn left, basically. Islands Restaurant will be up just a little bit on your left side. We'll see you next Friday. Next Friday.
That's right.
2 to 6. We'll have a Fernando Tatis Jr. signed baseball. We'll have tickets to that game on the 20th when you can get the Michael King bobblehead, right?
Complete with LeMay.
And we got some confirmation from people who said that I was right.
I feel bad because I think I perpetuate this joke, but someone said only people born in 1428 know what that is.
1428? Now I'm 700 years old?
You are.
Jeez.
No.
I mean, you could have said 1928 and still kind of made the same joke.
Well, were they calling it a LeMay in 1928?
I imagine so. If I knew how to spell LeMay, I would look it up and give you a little history lesson. But anyway, yes, next Friday, Fernando Ball we'll have the tickets to the 20th, the game where the Michael King doll will be handed out, and just a lot of fun. So next Friday is the Islands Day. Also, again today, at some point during the show, you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to see this Saturday's Padres-Red Sox game. Michael King will be returning to the mound this Saturday. Arrive early, live music, Nova Kombucha drink specials in Gallagher Square until the first pitch Saturday at 5:40 p.m. Visit Padres.com/tickets. All right. Couple of other quick notes for you. Light scoreboard in baseball today. Dodgers are off. The Reds, who are trailing the Padres by 4 games for the last, well, actually the Mets are now behind the Padres also.
Yes.
The Padres have moved into the 5 spot.
Padres broke the Mets.
The Mets are a game behind the Padres. The Reds are 4 behind the Padres. Reds face Paul Skeens this afternoon.
What's that
in
like?
Pittsburgh. Well, it usually means that Paul Skeens will pitch 6 shutout innings and leave the game tied 0-0.
And he'll
usually
lose.
means.
Then they'll
So we'll see what happens with the Reds later. There was one game earlier today. The Athletics shut out the Nationals 6-0. I bring it up because Leo DeVries did not play for the A's. By the way, on the other side of that, C.J. Abrams, James Wood, Robert Hassel combined 1 for 11, 3 strikeouts.
I didn't realize they called up Robert
Robert Hassel's been up for a little bit. He had his 5th double of the year today. So he's been up for a little while. He's hitting 247. James Wood's at 254. So, he's been great. Don't get me wrong. But James Wood isn't, quite ready to, line up next to Ted Williams in the Hall of Fame. All right. So that's that. What else, Skraby? Tonight we've got a little preseason football getting underway. I'll tune in just because I like to see what's going on. But otherwise, it's kind of a quiet day in the sports world. I do want to get to when we have some time. Kevin Acee did a really good story today. He does a lot of good stories. I hope, by the way, I hope somebody somewhere hears all the props we give to Kevin Acee on this show. I'm not doing it to get his appreciation, but I just like him to know that we, think he does a good job, and we talk about it a lot. I mean, I think you should read his newsletter, as you've said, and he's a good writer. So we're lucky to have a guy like this. He doesn't come on our show because I believe he has other commitments.
Yes,
but that still doesn't keep me from thinking he does a good article. And today he did. It's on Fernando Tatis Jr. And the question is, do we all love the new and improved Fernando Tatis Jr.? And I think it's something that we need to delve into a little bit later, Skraby. It's going to take more than 3 minutes. But
yeah, it's a loaded question.
It's a tough question. He is doing a lot of things better than he's ever done before. He's also things he used to do that he's not doing.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that a little bit later. I did find it interesting that last night in the 9th inning, down by a run with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, leadoff hitter was Ryan O'Hearn. And I was watching thinking, well, they got to bring Fernando up here. He's, on the bench. He's the leadoff guy. This is the guy you want. Start a rally. Well, O'Hearn hit the home run, so much for me worrying about that. But Mike Schilt said after the game, wasn't an option. Fernando was out of the game. He was basically in dress clothes on the bench.
I have a question about this.
Okay.
Is
that imperative?
Is he in such a bad place that he needs a full day off in street clothes? I don't understand.
I think that plus today, they wanted to give him 2 days to recharge. However, I think it's kind of a dangerous thing in a sport where you only have 4 guys on your bench to tell one of them,
you're not playing.
You're not even playing. I'm not considering you.
What if it was a 15-inning game?
Right. Would he have gone back in and hopefully put some,
he's on the roster,
on?
so I guess he can.
Right. That's my point. If there was ever a perfect spot for Mike Schilt to break his word, it was leading off the 9th inning. You've got your leadoff hitter, Fernando. He gets on, he steals, whatever. You tie the game. But Ryan O'Hearn, who hadn't done anything. He was 1 for 12 for the Padres. O'Hearn hits a home run. Come on. That's one of the big home runs of the year. It really is.
It might be the biggest home run of the year.
Yeah, there's been a few.
I guess that game, I thought I went into that game. I was driving home and I was thinking, man, I didn't get a chance to go crazy on the show about this is a must-win game. Because it was.
It was not.
It was.
It wasn't. There's no such thing.
If they lose that game, they're going to have they're back to 3 back from the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And they're not as confident. Ryan O'Hearn doesn't hit his home run. So,
I'm happy to win the game.
It was a must-win game.
I'm happy to win the game. It was not a must-win.
Season was over if they lost.
You're right. Yeah. Those, as we've said many times, the only must games are the ones that keep you from being eliminated.
I guess you're right.
Those are the only must games.
I know that people are saying, why are you thinking that, Skraby, about Fernando sitting? Yeah, I understand that he plays a lot of games, but he wants to play a lot of games. I just think it's really strange that they were like, hey, you aren't going to play at all. I don't know that.
Absolutely
not.
How
many times do they tell someone that during the year?
Right. Well, that's why I said it's a dangerous thing when you only have 4 guys on your bench. You didn't have a lot of other options as was proven because O'Hearn, who's not really great against lefties, had to lead off. But he saved the day.
It worked out for Mike Schilt. And I'm not saying that there's any funny business going on. I just think it's a little strange to say he's not going to play at all.
Yeah, it was interesting. It really had me thinking of the 86 World Series, which I know I'm turning back time.
I was 1.
The Mets were down 2 runs in the last game of the World Series to the Red Sox. 2 outs, nobody on. The Red Sox needed 1 more out to win the World Series. And Kevin Mitchell, who was a MVP later in his career with the Giants, played with the Padres, was back in the clubhouse, and he was changing his clothes to go home and get on a flight because it was over.
Okay.
And the next guy got a hit, and the next guy got a hit, and the next thing you know, the call back to the clubhouse to Kevin Mitchell to pinch hit. And the story goes that he came up with his uniform on, but nothing underneath. He didn't have time.
That's it. Are you giving up? Are you giving up on your team if you just go to the locker room?
And I don't know if this is a wives' tale. I know Kevin Mitchell probably is around here somewhere in Southern California, but Kevin Mitchell got a hit, and he kept it going, and the Mets ended up winning, and the whole rest is history. Buckner lost the ball through his legs, and we know what happened there.
Poor Buckner.
But I was thinking of that last night when Fernando was like, well, he's not even in uniform. Well, what if they needed him?
I'm sure he could run back and get in uniform.
Yeah.
Someone's saying on the chat that the Arizona TV showed him in uniform, but
I couldn't tell. You're right. I couldn't tell. Somebody who says that might be, a little close to accurate, but we were told, Mike Schultz said, no, you're not playing. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Gwynn and Chris, when we come back, we got a lot of time to talk a lot of baseball today. We will do that. I told you we're going to have our Fernando discussion, and I think that's going to be, interesting. I'm not quite sure where I'm going yet. Do I like the new Fernando, or do I miss some of the old Fernando? Also, with tonight being the beginning of preseason football, our first look-see at the upcoming fantasy football season.
I'm not even ready for that yet.
I'm getting you ready, baby. I'm getting you ready.
For it.
Getting you ready. Stick around, Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and Woods.
Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low. you idiot. Typical tandem student right there.
I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy.
Fun, huh?
You need help with anything?
Okay, I'm nervous. Stand up, stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
Matt Skraby alongside here in the Odyssey Palace. By the way, we are going to have plenty more Padre talk on this show. But at 5 o'clock today, if you missed it earlier, our roundtable, commercial-free hour of nothing but Padre talk. So you can get that from 5 to 6 p.m. tonight. And then when it's over, stick around. Skraby's got the Chronicles tonight. And you're
got to
bringing,
turn on my mic.
Yeah, you got to turn. You're not going to be able to promote Mason Miller unless you actually get on the mic to tell people about it.
I went down to the stadium on Saturday, and I wanted to get in on the action. I went in the clubhouse. Sammy Lev walked me around, showed me the ropes. I talked to Mason Miller, and I talked to him more so about his diabetes because he is very open about it, and I think it's cool when people put their own embarrassment or shame or whatever it is to the side in order to help people. So I talked to him about that.
I don't know that there should be any embarrassment or shame. And I think when people like Mason Miller and we had, the Aztec.
Well, that's what Miles Bird said that he was a little.
He said he was shamed by it and he hid it for so long. But yes, the fact that these kinds of guys are coming out, JJ Spawn, another guy with diabetes. We didn't talk about it yesterday in our interview with him. I didn't know that. But JJ's got diabetes as well, type 1. So, the fact that these guys are coming out, talking about it, it's all good for everyone else out there. So look, that'll be good thing you have tonight with Mason Miller.
I was so nervous, Chris.
Were you a little bit?
Well,
why is that?
Just because I'm such an awkward human being, and I'm not someone who likes to go up to someone who's clearly not
awkward human being.
I'm not someone who's likes to go up to someone who's on their phone and be like, "Hey, can I get 5 minutes of your time?" Just because I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. But Mason Miller was awesome. He goes, "Hey, I'm just finishing a text. It's cool.
Nice.
Give me some time." And so I stood around, but I told him before we even started the interview,
right?
Thank you for helping me win a fantasy championship in baseball last year.
You're so embarrassing. You embarrass yourself.
That's not embarrassing.
Yes, it is. You embarrass yourself.
He smiled and he said, "You're welcome."
You're embarrassed yourself.
I did
by
not
doing that. Yes,
the
you did.
Mason Miller interview. I'm going to go through it at 6:20. So.
All right, good. Mason Miller, one of the heroes of last night's 3-2 victory. And for more about that game, by the way, don't forget the manager's report tomorrow morning. Mike Schilt will be on with the guys, Ben and Woods. In fact, Woods is back from vacay tomorrow. So Ben and Woods tomorrow morning, the manager's report. It's refreshed by EcoWater SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. EcoWater SoCal, they're keeping it soft since 1925. That is tomorrow. All right, SDFC finished in 13th place on the MLS side of things in the Leagues Cup. They won only the one match. They lost 2. So that whole experience is over for for them.
973. Whoops,
But,
sorry, that was on the air, Chris.
Yeah, are you? Skraby's answering the phone if you're wondering. But so SDFC, look, that's the bad news, right? The good news is they can get right back now to focusing on the MLS season. Nate Bacati, play-by-play broadcaster for MLS Season Pass, joining us here in just a second or so. Bucati,
I can't figure out if my mic is on or off. Nate Bucati.
Nate Bucati.
I'm sorry, Nate's joining us in my technical difficulties right now.
Is he there?
He's here.
Hi, Nate Bucati. Thank you so much for being on the show today. We appreciate it. Yeah, I was just saying the Leagues Cup did not go great for SDFC. Such is the way this tournament is, though. You got 3 matches. You really can't afford to lose one, let alone 2. But they did. And so now I get, like, the good news is they can focus right back in on the MLS season. But real quick, just your take on the Leagues Cup so far. Successful for the MLS to this point in your mind?
I love this competition, guys. I think it's got the potential to be something tremendous, but I think it's still a work in progress. You know, they're tweaking the format this year. I think they made some really good tweaks because now you get more of these matchups, which is what we want to see in this competition, which is Liga MX teams against Major League Soccer teams, and that's all you had in this group phase. The fact that only 4 teams from each side advance out of 18, as you said, puts you in a kind of a position where there's some teams that actually played really well. Like, look at the Columbus Crew. They won 2 games and got a draw, and they're eliminated. You know, they're not going to get a chance to advance. So I'd like to maybe see it expand to 6 or 8 teams from each side getting to advance, because I think you'd have more games on this. I'm getting ready to call the Charlotte versus Monterrey match tonight, and both of those teams are eliminated. And I think we have too many matches like that in this third day of this first phase. But overall, I love the matchups. I love some of the drama we get to see. I love seeing the Liga MX sides and the MLS teams stack up against each other. And I think from San Diego's perspective, guys, I think they got a lot out of this competition, even though they didn't win in advance. I think they grew a lot as a team, and I think it's going to help them when they now get back into MLS play coming down the stretch.
Yeah, Seattle, a team that SDFC knocked off earlier this season, ended up going 3-0 in the round robin. They and Miami, which is good. That's the Messi squad. Those are the 2 of the teams that have advanced out of the MLS. All right, so that's that. But while that's continuing, SDFC can focus back in on trying to win a Western Division championship. And Nate, to that end, you know, pretty much everybody we've talked to said the same thing. This has been a, remarkable season, first season for SDFC. And most people are kind of telling us they felt like it was remarkable, but now we don't anymore because they've kept it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that really stands out compared to what you've seen. Other teams have come into the league here recently as expansion sides and had success. St. Louis is the most recent example, but their season kind of fell apart. They couldn't keep it rolling. I think San Diego is showing signs that they're not only going to be able to keep it rolling into this last part of the season, but they might even actually be taking it up and, getting a little bit better as it goes on. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic for San Diego right now. It's a different – Major League Soccer is different than the traditional American sports when it comes to expansion sides. I think we're used to seeing if it's Major League Baseball or the NFL. It's been a while since either of those leagues have expanded, but I'm old enough to remember when they did. Usually it takes 2 or 3 years to put your team together and get things going. But because Major League Soccer is part of a global game, you've got the money, you can bring in a Chucky Lozano right off the bat. You don't have to draft him and develop him and all those things and have, they have an expansion draft in Major League Soccer, but that's a small part of the way that you put the team together. So like San Diego's part of a bigger club, obviously a bigger organization. They've got great talent. And I'm not that surprised that they're having such a good season.
Talking to Nate Bucati here, play-by-play announcer for Apple MLS Season Pass. And Nate, I'm going to ask a question that might be a dumb question. I'm hoping it's not a dumb question, but I'm still trying to learn this MLS thing. I'm still trying to figure out this soccer world. And is there any difference between the international play that they just went through and the MLS? And I'm not talking rules or anything like that, but like maybe certain players or you know what I'm saying? I don't really know how to, style of play, stuff like that. Yeah. Is there any difference between the two?
It's not a bad question. It's a great question. It's actually one of the questions that a lot of us have been asking the managers from Liga MX and Major League Soccer as we go through this competition, which is one of the reasons that I actually think the competition should be something that we really embrace and that I really enjoy watching it. They are different leagues. There is a different approach. You're with a broad brush because you got to remember that every team in Major League Soccer has their own system, their own style, their own identity. But within that, what most of the managers from Liga MX have told me is when they play against these MLS sides, they think that they're a little more physical. They're a little more transitional in terms of they want to get up and down the field. You have to be in phenomenal fitness, and the game is kind of wide open, and the athleticism really comes out in Major League Soccer, whereas on the Liga MX side, they feel like the players are a little more technically proficient, maybe a little cleaner on the ball, and more tactically aware. They're going to take their foot off the gas at different times during the course of the match to kind of make sure that they're pacing themselves through the game. And another thing I think you're seeing from the Mexican teams as well is they know how to kind of do the stuff that gets under your skin, bait you into a stupid foul, bait you into a red card. We saw that with Anders Dreyer.
Yeah, Andres, come on, man.
And hey, learning experience for him. I think the phrase that you hear a lot from the guys from Liga MX is inteligencia de la calle, the street smarts that they have on how to play. And I think it's good for the MLS players to play against that and to kind of learn some of those tactics and how to resist the temptation sometimes to get baited into those things, but maybe also use it to your advantage a little bit. So yeah, there is a difference in the approaches to how they see the game and play the game. And I always think it's fun to watch those kind of contrasting styles. If you like boxing at all, styles make fights. You love seeing two guys with different styles go at it. And I think we get to see that in this competition.
Nate, San Diego, the other thing, along with, being in first place and trying to draw interest. Well, they have done so. First of all, they put on a nice product, a great product. There's a lot of fun at the matches. The atmosphere is great, but all of that, to me, would go away if you were playing kind of boring games. 1-0, nothing. Furthest thing from what's happening. SDFC is second in the league with 48 goals scored. They're second in the league with a plus 16 goal differential. They don't mind taking a few chances, opening up. They've had 5-3 scores, 3-2, 4-2. This is, I think, working, and one of the reasons why they've had the kind of fun that they've had and maybe made it difficult for a lot of other teams to deal with.
You're spot on. I was the play-by-play announcer for Sporting Kansas City for 8 years, and when they had the most successful rebrand in league history. At the time, Don Garber said they're the biggest success story in Major League Soccer. They went from the Wizards that nobody cared about, played in an empty stadium. It was a converted baseball stadium. And then they built a brand new stadium and they rebranded as Sporting KC. And the owners at that time said, it's not enough for us to win. We need to play a style that people want to come watch. This is entertainment. We have to play an entertaining style. And they did that. And then they had 100 pullouts in a row. And I think that you're trying to start something and get people on board. It's not just about, whether you win or lose. It's kind of how you play the game, right? It's what kind of product you put out there. And look, at the end of the day, the winning part is the most important part. You can play all the attractive soccer you want. If you're in last place, people are not going to want to watch it. But if you can do what San Diego's doing, which is win while playing an attractive style of game that's exciting, you're hitting on all cylinders. And in a market like San Diego, I just don't see how the thing doesn't work. I think it's I can't wait to get out there for a freaking game, to be honest with you guys, because I haven't been able to be in person for a game in San Diego yet. But I'm looking forward to the chance when I ever finally get to.
We're talking to Nate Bukaty here, play-by-play announcer for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. And you are going to be calling that San Diego FC and Sporting Kansas City game on Saturday. Knowing Sporting Kansas City as well as you do, what does San Diego need to do to win?
Be themselves and play the way they play. This is a contrast in one organization right now that has a clear sense of identity and another side that does not. Because for as much as I told you, Sporting was the great success story back, in 2012 through 2017 when they won 4 trophies, it's hard to maintain in Major League Soccer. It's a little akin to the NFL in that regard, where with a salary cap league, I mean, just look at LA Galaxy, right? They won the MLS Cup last year, and now they're in last place because it's hard to keep your players. They let go of their manager who had been there forever, Peter Vermees, earlier this year. They've got an interim manager. They got a whole bunch of players who are on the last year of their contract who aren't going to be there next year. So there's a real sense of limbo amongst this Kansas City side. They don't really have an identity right now because everybody's just kind of waiting to see what direction they're going to take after this year. Now, that being said, all these guys that are under contract, they need to play well, right? Because they got to find another job after this year. The manager, he's an interim manager. This is his one chance to try to show everybody what to do. They're going to be motivated. They're going to play hard. They score goals. They don't defend well. So I think that what you'll probably see is they'll sit back a little bit. They know that San Diego are really good on the ball, and if they try to come up and press them, they'll get carved open the way FC Dallas did when they tried that at San Diego earlier this year. So I think they'll probably, even though they're the home team, let San Diego have a lot of the ball in this game. So at the end of the day, I think for San Diego, they're going to have to then be able to come up with the answers in that final third against a bunkered-in defense to break through and find a goal. If they do that, then Kansas City has to come out and play. And once that happens, the game opens up, and I think it really plays into San Diego's favor. So I think for San Diego, getting that first goal will be the biggest thing. Trying to find a way through a bunkered-in defense will probably be the biggest challenge as I look at it.
Nate, I'm excited for the game, man. What a great breakdown.
Let's go.
Yeah, right. Saturday. Let's get to it already. These teams played in May. It was a draw here in San Diego. So we'll see if SDFC can win this time. Just real quick for those SDFC fans tuning in, we're on the road this weekend. Nate's got the game in Kansas City, San Jose next Sunday, and then finally back home August 23rd for Portland. So still a good ways to go. I've got 9 matches left in the season to try to hang on to the title in the West. Nate, hey, thanks so much, man. Great insight. Always fun talking to you and all these guys. You guys have done a great job keeping us informed here in San Diego and made it fun for us. Thanks again.
Hey, if any San Diego fans are coming out to Kansas City and need tips on where the best barbecue is and all that, just let me know. I'll steer them to the right place.
Sure. Do you have a social handle?
Yeah, I wasn't going to come, but now that you said barbecue, I might have to make arrangements. That sounds good. Hey, thanks, Nate.
All right, see you guys.
Yes, sir. Nate Bucati, play-by-play, MLS Season Pass, SDFC, Sporting KC, Saturday, 5:45. You can watch it on MLS Season Pass.
I've never come across a more pleasant group of people than this MLS Season Pass
right down the
crew.
line. We've had like 10 of these announcers, studio hosts. I've enjoyed every one of them.
I mean, most of the time people are great, obviously, but these MLS season pass announcers they bring the energy, they educate us, they don't think that we're asking dumb questions, even if they might be dumb questions.
Yeah, he thought that was dumb.
No, he said it was a great question.
I know what he said.
He said it was a great question. It's questions that managers have been asked by them. So.
Okay.
Now that we got that out of the way.
SDFC, Saturday night at KC. And it's going to really be something, man. If they can, hold on to this first place, get into the, postseason. I think they're going to get the postseason, and who knows? How about winning it all in your first year? By the way, I didn't get a chance to ask him, but SDFC did get in a trade with Cincinnati. Corey Baird comes over to San Diego. Now, Baird is from Escondido, which is somewhat interesting because the last guy we had was from Escondido.
Milanowski.
Yeah. He ended up going to Philadelphia after all that. So good luck to Corey Baird as he joins SDFC. All right, when we come back, Daily Gambit, Hour 2, we're going to get into this Fernando discussion. Do we like the new Fernando or do we miss the old one? Also, after that, it's never too early to start getting our fantasy football. Give you a little preview. More Gwynn and Chris till 5.
Joseph Musgrove in the building.
Give him a round of applause, everyone.
What's up? It's not a bad setup right here, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. How you doing, Joe?
I feel great, man. Yeah, really good. Excited.
I heard you say on the stage today, 2 months away from throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
What are those 2 months going to be like for you?
A lot of patience, you know. I've been working really hard, man. Been really diligent with the rehab. The strengthening stuff has all been, you know, right on par. I've kind of hit every checkpoint with ease, and that was something that was told to me early on. Is like, you know, really give it the time that you need on the front end. You don't throw for 6 months regardless, so. You know, don't try to go out and be a hero and get yourself throwing in 4 months. Just, you know, do all the rehab, hit all the checkpoints, and then, you know, maybe make up some time on the back end, you know, once I'm consistently throwing. So strength feels really good. It's just, you know, getting the shoulder moving again and back in, like, certain ranges before I start playing catch.
For those who may not know, I don't think it was ever going to be in question whether Joe was going to attack his rehab the way he has already started to attack it. This is one of the most hard and working people I've ever been around. But this is new territory for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a guy who I consider well-educated on anything he's about to walk through.
Yeah.
What was your education like leading up to surgery? I know you must have talked to a billion people. You don't leave stones unturned.
Yeah.
What was that like, getting yourself prepared for this surgery?
Yeah, I got a notebook full of pages of you know, conversations, phone calls, doctor visits. I, you know, vetted 3-4 different doctor options. Called everybody I knew that had, you know, had Tommy John, called guys that had had it twice, and, you know, what the difference was the second time around compared to the first. So
this is your first, correct?
My first one, yeah. So I feel like I've done, you know, every bit of the homework that I could. I feel like I was as prepared and as, you know, educated on, you know, the process as possible. And now it's just, you know, putting the, you know, the lessons that I've learned from other people and their experiences, along with, you know, the feel and the trust that I have for myself.
We're talking to Joe Musgrove here on 97.3 The Fan. And Joe, last year you called into our show, and
yeah, there we go.
You played a prank on me, and it was a really good prank because my heart stopped a beat for a second, and it still does. But I appreciate you doing that. This is the first time we've actually been able to talk about it.
A little locker room talk. It's all good, baby.
I told him, I told these folks that his eyes almost popped out of his head when Joe got on that phone.
Well, yeah, when I'm told I can't come into the clubhouse, it's a little concerning, considering, you know, I'm not that crazy of a guy, but
no,
anyway.
you're good by us down there. You're
okay,
welcome
good.
whenever.
All right. I just wanted to ask you about the mental side of things, because it's got to be hard knowing you're coming into the year you're not going to pitch.
Right.
But you still have to keep working. How do you stay in that zone?
I think, you know, first off, it's a little bit of a relief. It's a chance to kind of step back from, you know, the constant mentality and approach of, like, being on edge and getting ready and prepared, and just the stresses that, you know, any ball player deals with on the day-to-day of, like, mechanics feeling out of whack, or as spring gets closer, maybe you haven't hit the checkpoints that you want to hit, or things aren't, you know, as consistent as you like it to be. So not having to deal with those stresses has been super nice. You know, I've been able to focus on life a little bit, got engaged, you know, got a new home, made some moves. Yeah, so it's been really good. And I think, you know, once I had the surgery, I knew what was ahead of me and, you know, how long the road was. And, you know, it took a little while to get to a good headspace, but I feel like I'm in a great spot now. And, you know, I was saying earlier out on the stage, you know, I'm not claiming to be Superman, but I really believe in my ability to heal and, you know, my ability to, you know, to push my body and get it ready. So I'm preparing and shooting for a return in the postseason at some point. And if, you know, we're a month away from that and I realize it's a long shot, I'm completely fine with, you know, sitting out and, you know, preparing for 26. But I keep myself busy, man. I've really tried to be an extension of the coaching staff and, you know, provide, you know, assistance and help and, you know, experience and, you know, things that help these younger guys and, you know, some of our guys that are transitioning to a starting role, you know, help their careers grow. So, you know, keep myself busy and keeping tasks, you know, to have, you know, at my fingertips, things to work on has been a good relief for me.
Joseph Musgrove in the building.
Give him a round of applause, everyone.
What's up? It's not a bad setup right here, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. How you doing, Joe?
I feel great, man. Yeah, really good. Excited.
I heard you say on the stage today, 2 months away from throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
What are those 2 months going to be like for you?
A lot of patience, you know. I've been working really hard, man. Been really diligent with the rehab. The strengthening stuff has all been, you know, right on par. I've kind of hit every checkpoint with ease, and that was something that was told to me early on. Is like, you know, really give it the time that you need on the front end. You don't throw for 6 months regardless. So, don't try to go out and be a hero and get yourself thrown in 4 months. Just, do all the rehab, hit all the checkpoints, and then, maybe make up some time on the back end, once I'm consistently throwing. So strength feels really good. It's just, getting the shoulder moving again and back in like certain ranges before I start playing catch.
For those who may not know, I don't think it was ever going to be in question whether Joe was going to attack his rehab the way he has already started to attack it. This is one of the most hard and working people I've ever been around. But this is new territory for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a guy who I consider well-educated on anything he's about to walk through.
Yeah.
What was your education like leading up to surgery? I know you must have talked to a billion people. You don't leave stones unturned.
Yeah.
What was that like, getting yourself prepared for this surgery?
Yeah, I got a notebook full of pages of conversations, phone calls, doctor visits. I vetted 3.
We're heading into hour number 2. If you're just joining us, where have you been? First hour's in the books. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Idle, Matt Skraby alongside here, Odyssey Palace Studios. Still to come on the show. Chance for you to win 2 tickets to Saturday night's Padres game against the Boston Red Sox. Michael King will be starting for the Padres. More good news for a Friars ball club that won last night, has won 8 of its last 10, and is currently 13 games over 500 for the first time this year. Real quick before we get to the Daily Gambit, Scrabe.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN.com ranking the baseball power rankings, right?
Do you have to pay for this one?
No, this is free of charge. You can get the power rankings. Number 1 with a bullet, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 1 team in baseball.
I don't know how you can argue at the moment.
They've got 70 wins. They are 3 games ahead of Toronto, and Toronto has the second best record. So they're clear of everybody. They're also plus 127 in the run differential, which is far and away the best. Second is the Cubs at plus 115. I'm only asking you because the Padres are 7th on the rankings. And this is an unfair question because I'm asking from where we're sitting.
Yes.
Do you think if the Padres played the Brewers in a best-of-7 NLCS, would the Brewers be a prohibitive favorite?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
And I say that because the Padres are just deeper.
On paper, it's not fair.
On paper, yes.
Yeah, it's not fair because the Brewers are doing what they're doing. I mean, Pat Murphy, who was an interim manager here, is, maybe on his way to win his 2nd straight Manager of the Year award. He won it last year. They began the second half by sweeping 3 in LA over the vaunted Dodgers, right? They took 2 out of 3 in Seattle. They beat the Cubs 2 out of 3. They've now won 6 in a row. I mean, they're answering all of the questions. They don't scare me. They don't scare me. I don't know who scares you on that team. Jackson Churio, he's hurt.
Christian Yelich scares
right
me.
now.
Andrew Vaughn scares me.
Andrew Vaughn is like
he scares me because
miracle right now.
Yeah, he's got the longest hit streak of his career. He's hitting out of his mind right now.
He's got an 1146 OPS. This guy has a career OPS of about 700. He's like twice as good as he used to be. They have guys like Isaac Collins, who's got an 828.
Sal
Frelick.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
769. Bryce Terang.
He's pretty good.
724
He steals
OPS.
bases.
What they really have is a good starting rotation.
Yes.
And Peralta and Quinn Priester. Priester, I think, has won 10 starts in a row. They've gotten a great contribution from Brandon Woodruff.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Quintana's been a really good pickup for them. But I'm here to tell you that in a playoff series, unless your starters are going to go 9-inning shutouts, it's something that isn't that big of an advantage. To me, in the postseason, what have we seen in the last 10 years? Bullpens win. Milwaukee's got Trevor McGill. He's got 26 saves. He's got a 1.05 whip. He's been great. The guys ahead of him, I mean, and other than Milwaukee fans or diehard fantasy fans, does anybody know Abner Uribe, Jared Koenig, Nick Mears?
I know Abner Uribe because of fantasy baseball.
Okay. Well, these are the guys that are going to be asked to get the job done and hopefully matched up against the likes of Jason Adam, Mason Miller, Robert Suarez. I like the Padres' chances if it should come down to that.
Now, there could be an early playoff preview in September because the last week of the season, the Padres come home and they play 3 against the Brewers to start the week. So they're going to have to.
Really?
Yes, they're going to have to
finish. I didn't realize
at home.
we hadn't played them twice.
No, they took 2 of 3 in
Padres
Milwaukee.
took 2 out of 3 there. I didn't realize they hadn't come here yet.
No, but that could be
interesting.
important.
Sure. Yeah, final week. You're right. Here at Petco Park, Brewers are the last opponent for the Padres at home.
No, Diamondbacks are, but the Brewers start the week. The last week of the season is Brewers 3 against the Brewers, 3 against the Diamondbacks.
Padres are home the whole last
final
week.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I just badmouth the Brewers, and it's not fair. I don't mean to. I just think I think I'm giving the prevailing opinion out there, which is give them all the credit. They're the best team in the league, but are they really? Let's be honest. If the Dodgers are playing the Brewers or the Phillies are playing the Brewers on the other side of the bracket and the Padres have already advanced, I want the Brewers. I don't want the Phillies or the Dodgers.
I definitely don't want the Phillies.
I know this is weird thinking maybe to a lot of people, but I think I'm in the majority of people who think that way right now.
I would love to see the Brewers and the Dodgers beat up on each other, though. The Brewers,
and then the Brewers win.
The Brewers actually beat up on the Dodgers right before the All-Star break. So.
And right after.
You're right.
They went 6-0 against the Dodgers.
So
the Brewers.
So that leads my crazy
it's
brain
one of the
to
reasons
either.
it's one of the reasons why they're the best record in baseball right now.
It's like makes my crazy brain think, that means that the Dodgers are due.
Yeah, we'll see how it all turns out. All right, Daily Gambit. Let's get into some stuff here, Skrabe.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. We'll start with what we did yesterday, and the first bet was the Padres minus 1.5 on the run line over the Diamondbacks. We both chose Padres. We both lose.
Came up short.
Padres win 3-2.
Needed to get that insurance run
Yes.
in the top of the ninth. They did not do it.
Now, over under 9.5 total runs in the game. We won this one. We both went under. They had 5 total.
Okay.
Nestor Cortez over under 4.75 innings. Chris, I have no idea how so I said under 4.75 innings. You said over. He went 4 2/3. So does that mean
he was under?
Okay, he was under.
Yeah, you won. He was at 4 2/3 with 2 outs and the bases empty. And he went walk, right? And then Mike Schilt walked out and took him out.
Yep, he did.
There's 1 out away.
Yes. I was happy the way he bounced back, though.
Yes. I believe it was the 7th game in a row. I have to go back. Somebody else can look this up if you have time.
If I can turn back time.
I believe it's the 7th game in a row that a Padres starter has not reached the 6th inning.
Well, I mean, the bullpen is incredible, so
they
why
are,
not?
But you brought this up on the round table, and it was a good thing to bring up. Can the bullpen just do it like forever?
Skraby's point is really good.
It was on that one. I'll give you one. I gave you one earlier, but yeah, I mean, you go to the bullpen in the 5th inning every game. You just kind of wonder if the other shoe will ever drop. I hope not.
I hope not either.
We'll see.
Okay. Then the Red Sox -1.5 against the Royals on the run line. You went Royals, I went Red Sox. Royals won 7-3.
That ended the 7-game win streak
It did.
of the soon-to-be visiting Red Sox.
Yes. Spencer Strider, over under 6.5 Ks against the Brewers last night. We said over. He had 6.
It's really quite amazing how often they are that close to being right.
Yes. And then final one, Fritz and Shelton. Fritz was -1.5 games.
Shelton beat our guy Fritz.
Yeah, 6-4,
in the big,
6-3.
semifinal match. Yeah, good job by Shelton there.
I'm confused because my doc is showing the same exact thing.
Maybe Fritz is from San Diego, but maybe we should try to get Shelton on. Maybe he'll get on. We can't get Fritz on.
Will you stop?
I'm not gonna stop until we get him. He's my white whale. Taylor Fritz is my white whale. Gotta have him.
-5.5 over the Aces last night. We both went Aces. Aces won 78-72.
And by the way, that's a saying, white whale. Please
No, I know,
don't anybody
I
think there's a
know,
racial thing there.
White whale is something like that you can't attain, but you want to attain.
What it is from the famous novel Moby Dick, which was a white whale, and the guy Captain Ahab was trying the whole time to get the white whale.
I've heard Moby Dick the book is actually really boring.
Don't know. I've never read it. So
Maybe I should read it.
I would not know. All right. Quickly tonight, we've got, let's see. I had it, and now, I'm kind of confusing over here, too. You're not the only one that has papers scattered all over the house.
I did.
We got, here we go. Pittsburgh -1.5 over the Reds. Now, the Reds are better, but Skeens is pitching. Are you falling for it? Taking Pittsburgh?
No, I'm going to take the Reds to beat up on the bullpen.
I know. I'm going to take the Reds, too. Pirates. I mean, Skeens is – what has Skeens got? 5 wins
and
the
you know
whole
what?
year? It's incredible.
I think he gave up 5 runs against the Rockies
Last
of
game.
all teams.
He did?
He is incredible against every team. And then the Rockies, he stumbles against.
7 runs over under for this game. You got Brady Singer on the other side, if that matters to you.
Over.
Skeens doesn't give up anything.
Except for 5 runs against the Rockies.
Yeah, I'm going to go under. I think it's going to be, 3-2, 4-2. Skeens 6 innings. Over, under. If he gets to 6, you win.
Okay.
If he goes 5 2/3, you lose.
He's usually right around there.
I know he is. Tonight he's going to go 6. He's going to bounce back from that bad outing. I'll say over tonight. What about you?
I'll say under.
Okay. WNBA, Atlanta. Atlanta's having a really good season, and nobody's talking about them. Why? They don't have Caitlin Clark. They don't have Paige Beckers. They don't have Angel Reese. They don't have Sophie Cunningham. All they do is win all their games. They're 18-11. They're playing at Chicago tonight, and Atlanta's favored by 11. Chicago, not very good, despite all the attention that Angel Reese gets. Bless you, sir.
I have no idea what's going on.
Hate to make you...
No, I don't know why I'm sneezing all of a sudden.
By the way, Angel Reese, I saw another video of her, and people are, you talk about trolling. You like that word?
Yeah, trolling is the word.
All right, well, Angel Reese, they throw a video of her on Twitter practicing layups before a game and missing every layup. And the idea is, Angel Reese is, this, that, and the other. She's averaging 14 points a game. She must make a few shots here and there.
She's a double-double machine.
Stop it. Yeah. Let's try to, look at the positive side once in a while, people. Of course, I'm telling myself this, Mr. Negative. Anyway, after all that, I think you're up. Atlanta -11.
I'm going to go with Chicago.
You're going to go with the home standing.
Yeah.
Chicago. Chicago's been bad. I'm going to take Atlanta. That's a lot to give on the road, but I'm going to do it. Ben Shelton, after his victory over Taylor Fritz, 2.5 game favorite over Karol Kachanov. I think that's close. Kachanov's about a top 15 player. Shelton's about a top 10 player. This will be a big one for Shelton. I'm going to take Kachanov plus the 2.5. I think Shelton might have left it all on the court last night beating Fritz. Look out for that to happen, maybe.
I'm going to go Shelton.
All right, go with Shelton, the American.
Thank you. I will.
Good. And finally, the women's final there in Canada, Naomi Osaka, who's everybody's heard of, 2.5 game favorite over Victoria Mboko. Now, I'm bringing this one up because Mboko is maybe the new star on the tour. She's 18. She's from Canada. She beat Coco Gauff in this tournament and has now reached the final. So she's kind of getting, some buzz. But she's got up against a 4-time Grand Slam winner tonight. Osaka -2.5. Does Mboko bring the magic one more time?
Does Mboko bring the magic one more No.
No, you say.
I say no.
I say the crowd's going to pull her through. They're up in Montreal. I'll take
Montreal.
Mboko. All right, I'm 16-5 this week, by the way, which is worth mentioning.
Of course it is.
Well, yes, if I was 5-16, it would not be worth mentioning.
When are you going to actually make some money off of this?
Never, because I'm not going to ever bet this stuff. I will never bet this stuff. And by the way, I hope everybody notices we did not give any odds for any of the stupid preseason games tonight. If you bet on a preseason football game, what's our saying on this show, Skraby? Check yourself right into gambling rehab.
I don't disagree.
Just make your bet and then drive over to the Gambling Anonymous thing and check in there.
I was reading.
Not be betting on this stuff, please.
There's more and more stories coming out about people who have fallen down the hole in gambling. And there was a guy who was betting on like video game playing in Europe. Watch yourself, people. It can snowball quickly.
Well, we told you. I don't even want to. You know what? I'm not going to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Just going to leave it. You'll have to guess what I was thinking of saying there because I just refuse to keep giving it attention.
I think you were saying this.
Gobble, gobble. Yeah. For these purposes, that's what I was doing.
Okay.
There is the NFL games tonight. I mean, a little interest, right? Philadelphia is making their debut against Cincinnati. They're the Super Bowl champs. Pete Carroll and Las Vegas are going to Seattle, so he'll get a nice welcome up there
I see
tonight.
what they did there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's preseason start. And to that, we're gonna touch on who you should take in fantasy football, because that's all we really care about. That's coming up later. Next up, though, do we like the new Fernando or do we miss the old one? More Gwynn and Chris after traffic. From the gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down for everybody.
Really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola, going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell?
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, "Hey, there's a commotion."
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that. But we go kind of, not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavyset?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. Of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has to stop while we try to extricate the lady from the gondola.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Underneath the gondola. She's got one leg on the gondola. The rest of her body is underneath the gondola. And when I arrive to see what's going on, I'm kind of the first or second person there.
You're a first responder?
Pretty much. The guy running the gondola place is busy stopping
traffic.
The ride.
Yeah.
No, he's stopping the ride.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we're kind of first there. Lori's behind me. The lady's on her back. She's looking straight up in the air. And the only description I have is one of utter panic and utter terror combined with total helplessness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say embarrassment.
No, total helplessness. She's not only trapped, but she's not even remotely doing anything to help herself. She's kind of in a panic, and you think something terrible is going to happen, or she does.
Okay.
I go over there. First thing, breathe.
That's what you said?
I told the lady to breathe.
That's good.
I said, you're going to be okay.
That's good.
Just breathe.
That's good.
Try to relax.
That was the perfect thing you could have said.
As I'm stupidly pulling this 250-pound gondola, trying to pull it off of her. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're getting
the gondola is way heavier than 250 pounds.
Yeah, right. 1,000-pound gondola.
So you're trying to like move the gondola.
Move it a little.
Is her leg like? How is she attached to this gondola?
Well, I told you, her one leg's actually on the gondola in the doorway.
Okay.
Then the rest of her body's underneath. What is stuck with her in the gondola is her belly, not her leg.
Oh, no.
That's right. Okay.
No.
So I'm pulling. By the time finally a couple more people pull and we are able to get enough airway to get her to scramble out of there. And then she immediately stepped on the gondola to go take her ride up the mountain. And off she went.
This is.
I felt like I saved her life. I really do. I honestly feel like I almost saved her life.
I kind of will credit you with this.
You know, she was. I think if I didn't tell her to breathe, I think she would have gone into some sort of shock or whatever you do.
No,
she was
you're
going
right.
into
You're
a
right.
panic, Skraby.
You're
She was going into
right.
an absolute panic, and. You know, I had to calming her down, I think, was the number one thing. She wasn't in any real danger, but she wasn't feeling great because she was trapped under the gondola.
But
the
fact that you said her belly was...
Yes, her belly, yeah. I'm telling you, Scrabe, it was a factor. And there was, there's a couple of people pulling on an arm trying to drag her out.
I'm crying.
I know. There's people on the other side with her arm. They're trying to drag her. I'm like lifting the gondola so she can get a little room to get out of there.
You're like, hey, I'm going to take the gondola. It's lighter.
All right. I didn't say that. You did. But it was quite the scene.
I am happy that she's okay, obviously.
She's fine.
If
she
this
got
was
right on the gondola.
If this was a worse story, I would not be laughing. But she's fine. You did probably help her a lot more than you think you did.
I think so. Because she was able to calm down just a tad. The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down
like
for everybody.
Really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola.
Okay.
Going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell?
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, hey, there's a commotion.
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that. But we go kind of not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavy set?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. Of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has to stop while we try to extricate the lady from the gondola.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Underneath the gondola. She's got one leg on the gondola. The rest of her body is underneath the gondola. And when Hi, Gwynn and Chris, 3:24 is the time. Chrisella? Skraby getting a day off tomorrow. Adam and I will be in here to carry you into the weekend. David Morgan. You know, they talk about the Fab Five now and the Padres bullpen.
Yeah. Oh,
David,
is that what we're calling it?
I don't know. That's what I'm calling it. Filthy Five.
Fearsome 5?
No, the one that you hate. Fifth Dimension.
Oh,
you don't like that one. But David Morgan has been just about as reliable as anybody lately.
He has.
Been really good. He'll be on the show tomorrow. All right, let's get into this, Skrabe. We got a few minutes. Kevin Acey, good article today on Fernando Tatis Jr. It's something we kind of touched on ourselves actually yesterday. The question is, do we love the new Fernando or do we miss the old one? And here's what we mean. And this is right from the article today. Fernando this year's already set a career high, 65 walks. His 364 on-base percentage is 12th in the league, so he's way up there. Fernando has a 408 on-base percentage since the end of June. 408. He's getting on a lot.
Yes.
That is fifth best in the league. That's the one side. That's the new Fernando.
Yes.
But here's the old one. Currently, his 434 slugging percentage has him only 32nd best in the league. His 403 slugging percentage since the end of June ranks him 44th. So the easiest way, and I could give you a whole bunch more numbers, but the easiest thing to say, he's getting on base. He's also not swinging at bad pitches. There's a whole thing in here about swing and chase rate and all that, and he's doing the best he's ever done. So he's not swinging at bad pitches. He's walking. He's getting on base. He's making contact. He's setting the table at the top of the order, and the Padres are winning. But Fernando Tatis Jr., the slugger who once led the league in home runs with 42, has hit 4 since Memorial Day.
It's quite surprising.
He really has no slug at all right now. And the Padres are second worst in baseball with 98 home runs. They could use some home runs.
I didn't realize they'd fallen all the way that far.
Right. So that's the question before the court here. It's a tough one because the current recent Fernando is helping him win games. There's no question about that. But man, the old Fernando, I think he put fear into people. And
that's a great point.
So I don't know what's better. Now, I do want to say one last thing. Hitting coach Victor Rodriguez said that this is mostly a result of the fact that pitchers are not giving him anything to hit because they fear him.
Yes.
So he's just taking what they're giving him, which to the Padres, major thumbs up. Mike Schilt, quote, his swing decisions are elite.
Elite.
Fernando himself talking about the lack of power. It will definitely come back around. But right now, I'm just a baseball player. This is a Fernando statement, if there ever was one. Anything on the field, I can make it happen. That's Fernando. He's so confident.
But he can.
But he isn't. But he isn't. All right, so I took a lot of time there. But I think this is a tough answer. I don't really have the definitive answer here.
I have an answer.
What do you got?
My answer is we can't. First off, I think that he's going to figure out how to put this all together over time because this is kind of new for him. But we can't complain about him swinging at pitches outside of the zone and then get mad at him for walking when he takes those pitches. And if the Padres are tasking him with getting on base, he's doing his job. He's not doing his job in the power department. And I do feel sometimes that when Fernando comes up, I don't have that feeling of, oh, he's going to change the game. Like if Ryan O'Hearn, if it was Fernando up instead, because you wanted to see Fernando be pinch hit for Ryan O'Hearn last night.
I just thought it was the strategy to use. Yeah.
Which is what Mike Schilt has done in the past. Are you feeling like he's going to hit a home run there? No, I'm not feeling that.
Right. I'm feeling get on base, steal a base, come around and get the tying run.
So if we're going to see this version of Fernando and we don't like it, they need to move him down in the order so he can get some pitches to hit. If they like this Fernando getting on base and wreaking havoc on bases, then we're just going to have to be okay with the fact that he's not going to hit for power because he just doesn't get any pitches. From the AC article, he had an 887 slugging percentage on pitches in the heart of the zone last season. This year, that number is down to 449. So I think Braden said it on the roundtable. He's not punishing mistakes.
No. I mean, that statistic is alarming. Say it again. Pitches in the heart of the plate, 887 last year, slug, 449. That's 443 points lower, 438. Sorry. My addition's
it's half,
faulty there.
basically.
Yeah. 400 points lower. I think we need to see some of the fearsome Fernando return, and I think we need to see it, between now and postseason. I think he's got to start knocking the fence down a little bit more. Excuse me. I know he's going to probably strike out a few more if he does that. You know how crazy I've been this year with the stat 3-run homers.
Yes, you have.
Probably too
Only
crazy.
person in the country that knows every team's 3-run homer stat.
Dodgers have 25. Padres have 7. I'm just saying that is an area where the Dodgers have a huge advantage. They put crooked numbers up with one swing. Padres have not done that. Now, maybe it'll change, but I think Fernando's a guy who can help them do that more. And I think they need a little bit more of the fearsome Fernando and a little less of the walking Fernando.
the patient Fernando?
The patient Fernando.
See, I actually think
it's a tough call, though. It is.
I actually think this shows a ton of maturity on his end because instead of being like, you know what, I'm a home run hitter, I want to hit a home run, he's like, I'll take the walk. I'll do what's best for the team.
I know, but let's just use the
Mets. What's the leadoff hitter's role?
Get on, but okay. Yes, but not as much as it used to be back in Ricky Henderson's day.
Okay, good point.
They have a different way of going about it. My point is this, sticking up for myself here. If Pete Alonso wasn't hitting home runs, he would not be all that valuable in the world of the Mets. I think the Padres have Luis Arraez already. And I did say this on the round table. I think it's something to consider, although as fans, it doesn't mean a thing to us. Fernando's paid like Aaron Judge. He's paid like one of the great sluggers in the game. Right now, he's performing like Luis Arraez or somebody else. I mean, Arraez doesn't walk very much, but you know what I mean.
That's what he's tasked with doing.
Okay.
Right now.
I'm just saying that.
I'm not saying I like the Fernando that hits the leadoff home run. I like that. I like the guy who goes for second.
I like the one that when he comes up with 2 on, he can make it 3-0 right away.
I do too. Obviously.
And I think I'm missing that one.
Yeah.
All right. It really is. We could go on about it for a while, but right now you have a chance to win 2 tickets to see Fernando and the Padres take on the Boston Red Sox this Saturday night. We have 2 tickets to give away to the game. Now, remember, the guy with the LeMay cape, Michael King, is making his return to the Padre rotation Saturday. So you get that on top of getting to go to the game. The game is at 5:40 Saturday night. Arrive early. All of you get live music, Nova Kombucha drink specials in Gallagher Square until the first pitch at 5:40 p.m. First person with the correct answer to this question will win the tickets. The Boston Red Sox curse came to an end in 2004. They finally won the World Series after almost 100 years of agony. Who was the MVP of that World Series win?
Oh, wow.
Who was the MVP when the Red Sox finally broke the curse in 2004? First person, 833-288-0973. You'll go see the Bo Sox take on the Padres Saturday night. Call in, and then Gwynn and Chris returns with a 30-mile zone.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfuss and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking to see it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfuss and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking to see it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
Out there, got through, and had the answer. And didn't have to ask us, what was the question? Like 4 or 5 people did in a row. Skraby was about to blow his stack.
He
doesn't like that,
no,
and I
like
don't blame you.
I don't like. No, I don't. No, I don't like getting angry and hanging up on people. I don't like it.
We tell everybody, do not call in and go, "What's the question?" Pay attention, get the question, call in with the answer.
I'm sorry to the person that asked for what's the question. I said nope and just dropped them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You were
we
rude to pretty much everybody there.
We get so many calls, and I
Yeah,
have to go through them
win.
quick.
Everybody wants to win the tickets. Jose got it. The World Series MVP 2004 when the Red Sox finally broke the curse. None other than a pretty good player, Manny Ramirez. He hit 1 home run in that series, a 4-game sweep over the St. Louis Cardinals. So Manny was the MVP in 2004. Red Sox have won 4 World Series since the turn of the century. That's pretty good.
That's
for a franchise that couldn't win anything.
Wait, they've won 4? And
yes, they won. They beat the Cardinals twice.
Oh, they beat the Dodgers.
They swept the Rockies, and they beat the Dodgers.
Wow,
yeah.
I didn't realize it was 4 times.
Right, 4 World Series for the Bo Sox. One of the years, the MVP was a guy named Steve Pearce.
That was the latest one, right?
Right, that was the Dodger one. I don't even know who or where Steve Pearce is, but he's got a trophy with him somewhere.
I mean, that's a pretty. If you do nothing really during your major league
and
career,
just get 1 World Series MVP, you think that's good?
I'll take it.
Well, you know who's got one that we've met before and lives in town? Jermaine Dye.
Oh yeah,
he got one of those with the White Sox in 05.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, all right, good on Jose. He got the prize today. You can stop calling. We appreciate all the love and support out there, but we're fresh out of tickets to Saturday night's game now.
Yeah, those tickets were the hardest tickets that
tough for us to give away because the phone lines haven't been working all week,
and now they are.
If you're just tuned in,
thankfully.
All right, Scrape, we got. There's always some fun stuff.
Yeah,
every week we kind of wrap it all up, and we call it the 30-mile zone. It's a take on the television show TMZ.
And this is not a joke. Chris's favorite show.
No, my favorite news show.
Okay.
It's the show that I go to.
You say news.
Well, because there's other shows I like better. But I go to TMZ for my news. I think they do the best job. And, news has become, unfortunately, don't forget, Scrape, I'm a journalism major. So I kind of grew up, to me, with a background in trying to get things right and trying to present a fair point of view. And that's really hard to find now in the news, isn't it?
Yeah.
One station is one side, the other station's another side.
Oh, and TMZ is not slanted in any way.
I don't think so. They get both sides. They do an excellent job.
Okay.
Be honest with you. That's why I watch them.
Okay.
Let's do the 30-mile zone, but first let's check the traffic zone.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Well, that northbound 15 seems to be the problem child already this afternoon, guys. Got this crash past Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Couple of cars involved. They're over to the right shoulder. Then an accident reported right around Miramar Way. Now, this one involves a big red car hauler and a couple cars. Everything is over to the right shoulder. Up ahead, reports of a crash on the Mercy Road off-ramp. Then northbound 15 just past the Rancho Parkway. There's a collision involving car and a motorcycle. That's over to the right shoulder. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
If you don't know your sports gossip, can you really call yourself a sports fan? It's time to bring together sports and celebrity gossip. We call it the 30-mile zone, mainly so we don't get sued by the real company. On 97.3 The Fan.
All right, so we got a couple things today I want to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit more about Red Zone. This has consumed Chris and I all week long with the news that the ESPN is going to be taking over Red Zone. We're going to talk about smelling salts, and then we're going to talk about something that happened yesterday during the game between the Cubs and the Reds, and Boog Shambi is getting the ire of the Cubs fans, so we'll talk about that in a second. But let's go to Scott Hansen. But first, if you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. Now, Scott Hansen, we've been asking this question since we figured out the news that Red Zone is going to be an ESPN property.
You know, this is the one story that's happened that finally got me, for at least now, to come over to your side and hate ESPN for trying to monopolize the world.
Thank you.
You've been there for a while.
Oh, yes.
This story brought me into that way of thinking. Leave the NFL Red Zone alone, ESPN. Don't touch it. Don't mess with it. You don't need more money. They don't need more money. Just give me my Scott Hansen and get the hell out of the way.
Well, here's what Scott Hansen tweeted yesterday.
Okay.
It's official. And for those wondering, yes, I will still be hosting Red Zone. Fired up for a great season, optimistic about this new partnership, and I get to call Adam Schefter colleague for the second time in my career. So he will be doing it. Many people are asking.
But the big question is what's going to happen next year. I think this year is going to be fine. I worry that ESPN, before next year, will want to get its grubby little hands on it and try to change this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. It's perfect the way it is.
I think we're going to talk about it in the Big Five, but there are more than just us, Chris, out there, like legit reporters and people of that nature saying that this is a bad move. This is a really bad move, because you know how we got those reports about Daniel Snyder of the Commanders, the owner?
From ESPN. Well, now they won't break that story.
Are they going to go digging into things? So we'll talk about that in the Big Five. But yes, he said he's going to be back. He also he didn't say anything about the commercials. But Roger Goodell, as Chris said yesterday,
Roger Goodell said it's not going to change either
for this year. He didn't give a timetable.
Of course. I mean, I'm going to hold Robert Goodell's feet to the fire, but how am I going to do that?
I don't know if commercials, yes, it will ruin Red Zone. I don't know how they're going to put them in there. If we can still see games and the commercials in the corner, then I'm fine with that. But I have a feeling they're just going to jam commercials in there. And they're also doing this because they're launching their direct-to-consumer program thingamabobber. And it's $29.99 a month. And you can see like 42,000 sporting events throughout the year.
I don't get all that stuff. Just let me enjoy the NFL the way I've been enjoying it. And while you're at it, stop streaming games. I know I'm never going to win that one, Scrape, but I'm going to continue to cry for it.
PMC 619 or PMCK 619 says, no, wrong guy. Sorry. Mike says Roger said nothing changes with Red Zone. I'm with you, Mike. I hope that's true. But Roger Goodell is
a liar, and I'll say it.
He doesn't tell the truth.
Even if he's not a liar, these things tend to change. You get people with a lot of money who want to make an imprint on something.
You know, the only reason that Roger Goodell
you've
cares,
seen this happen before.
Yeah, he's going to get kickbacks from this. This is the only reason he cares. Yeah. All right, smelling salts. Earlier in the week, we had news that the NFL had banned smelling salts.
Yes, we did, and now I'm confused.
Yeah, so am I. NFLPA was very confused as well, because George Kittle came out and said, this is crazy. I need my smelling salts. Which then I looked online.
George was upset.
Yeah, he was very upset. He does it like before every drive or something like that.
I mean, he probably does it between plays. Have you ever seen George? He's a little alert out there.
He's very alert out there.
He's very alert.
I actually looked online for some smelling salts so that we could try them on the show.
No.
But I couldn't find anything cheap enough.
All you got to do is go buy some ammonia. It's pretty much the same thing.
Well, the NFLPA clarified. They weren't saying that the players couldn't bring their own. They were just saying that teams can't supply the smelling salts, which this is a complete... What? Here's what happened. They banned it. People were like, you're crazy because you're the NFL and you keep trying to jam games in on every day of the week. And they're like, oh, yeah. We will clarification.
Nice.
Players can come with it if they want to, but we can't provide it.
So basically, on Wednesday, George Kittle can go into the 49er facility when no one's looking, grab 42 packs of smelling salts. I know. What George isn't going to be able to find them?
George is going to order them off of Amazon.
Exactly. All right. So the NFL's made no change.
And I know that
this is such a typical NFL move, isn't it? I'm glad you're pointing out the hypocrisy here. They banned it until the players said, you can't ban that.
Mike is saying on the chat, mask concussions. Yes, it does mask concussions, and I don't want concussions.
There's a reason that the NFL did this, because they feel like it can help mask concussions. But sorry, doctors are going to have to do a better job and just be more alert on this. The NFL is, look, we can make as much fun as we want to about how the NFL doesn't care about the health of these players. They have made strides in trying to protect them from the concussions.
Because they've had to.
True, but they have done that. The problem is, this is such a violent sport. There's no way anyone can stop this stuff from happening. They just can't.
Yes, so, I agree with you. And it's kind of weird, though, to me. Still, even after they announced this whole thing that players can bring it, if they're worried about it masking concussions, why are you letting people use it? This is a PR move, in my opinion.
This is like saying if you get a concussion and you get a note from your mom that it's okay to play, you can go back in the game. It seems a little odd, right?
It's really odd.
Yeah.
Really, really odd. All right. Boog Shambi, the Cubs TV announcer.
Be careful here because Tony loves this guy.
No, he did. I don't think he did anything wrong, but the Cubs fans are very upset.
Really?
With Boog Shambi, because yesterday they were
calling the game. He's the voice of the team.
Yes, he's the voice of the team, and he's the voice of MLB The Show.
Right.
And he did something that fans were a little upset about. I didn't realize this clip was so long, so hopefully it comes up quicker.
Gavin Williams is throwing a no-hitter right now for the Cleveland Guardians. He just struck out Lindor. Nobody throws no-hitters anymore. So with one out in the ninth, he's throwing a no-hitter. And I am currently watching that game while calling this game. And I'm scared that I'm going to call the play-by-play from that game. Horton. That one fouled back by Stevenson.
All right, I got the idea what they're mad at. You don't even need to go any further.
Yeah,
so the Cub fans are mad that he admitted that he was doing this.
My opinion on this is it was a no-hitter. Who cares? He's a
professional.
Yeah.
I was laughing. He's being straight up. He's being honest. That's fair.
I think it's funny that he was making a joke about it, but Cubs fans are going through a little bit of a soft stretch right now.
Sorry to all my Cub fans out there, but you guys are a little wacky out there. Cub fans, they're a little wacky.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You know, I can see why they're trying to complain about something here.
Now, if Don Orsillo said this, I envision Padres fans being mad about it.
Here's the deal. Vin Scully used to basically tell everybody in L.A. during Dodger games that Randy Jones was 1 out away from a shutout in San Diego because it was only the 5th inning of the Dodger game, and he couldn't believe Randy was done with his game. Point being, if Vin Scully could follow a second game, so can John Boog Shambi.
And the
not a problem.
A further joke of this clip is that right after he said this is when Juan Soto hit the home run.
Right.
So his partner says you can jinx a no-hitter from 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, we all can jinx no-hitters, all of us broadcasters. I've jinked more free throw shooters than I care to admit. And here's the other thing. Should I tell out of school? I'm going to, because Tony's talked about this, I think.
What?
I hope.
What?
He tends to turn around and check the score of the Lakeland game from time to time.
Yeah.
When he's broadcasting a game.
Yeah. Turns around, looks at it, comes back to the game.
Let's make sure Tony never goes, Jesse goes, what'd you think of that? And Tony goes, wow, that was a hell of a shot by Luka there. I just don't, don't get confused.
That would never happen. It would. I mean, it wouldn't happen.
I don't think it would happen either. I'm just saying this is what the Cub fans are worried about, and they're being silly.
And guess what, Cubs fans? It doesn't matter. If he did start calling play-by-play from another game, he would make a joke out of it. I think
what was
this is
happening
funny.
in the other game was more interesting at that moment.
It was.
I don't see any problem with it.
It was. Nate says Cubs and Mets fans are odd. I agree with you.
Nah, I'm going to just go Cub fans on that. Last thing, TMZ Sports has footage of Sha'Carri Richardson. She's a Olympic sprinter.
Yes.
Do not shove your boyfriend anywhere or your girlfriend anywhere. In this case, she shoved her boyfriend. She did it walking through an airport. I guess they were in, a little bit of a fight. Anyway, of course, there's surveillance camera footage of it, and now she's been arrested for 4th-degree assault. This happened on July 27th in Seattle. It's just a little bit of a warning out there. They're watching, no matter where you are and who you are.
Yes.
So behave yourself.
I didn't know
Sha'Carri's
that
in
there was
trouble
video
now.
out there, so.
Yeah. All right. Back with the we got Chris versus the fans?
We sure do.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Phones are working.
Okay.
833-288-0973.
Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Machado has joined the show. Manny, welcome. How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
I guess we got to start with the most important part. I mean, you reached a pretty big milestone, hit 2,000. You hit 2004 now. You hit 350 early in the year. I mean, at what point in the offseason, at what point at all does this start to become something that you're actually thinking about? Because, I mean, that's a lot of hits, man. You ain't thinking about that from the beginning.
I knew the 3,000 was coming. I mean, I knew both of them going into the season where I was at, how many I was missing to get to those milestones. But thinking about it, I mean, right to like when you got 2 hits left, I'm not gonna lie, I've been searching for those 2 hits for a while, and man, I said it earlier this week. I mean, it's really hard to get a hit in the big leagues.
Yeah,
and that made me realize that just looking for those 2 hits, you're I mean, the ones before have come. I mean, I hit 3 yesterday. That was, it kind of just came. But when you're searching for it, when you want to hit those 2 hits, man, it's really hard. But finally you get it, and it's kind of like, all right, let's go. Now it's kind of let's get it past it and enjoy it.
Did it weigh on you as you got closer? I mean, you started about 100 away when you came into the
100.
season. Did it weigh on you as you started to get closer?
No, not really. I think when it got really close, I think when it was when it kind of started thinking about it. The last couple, and then it didn't help that I kind of got into a little fun going into Cincinnati and Philadelphia. I'm like, man, those are the 2 places that you want to get hot. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm going to these 2 places, get a few homers, get a few knocks. Hopefully, get it done on the road, and then you go to Cincy. We get almost no hit by Nick, and then that whole road trip kind of just went to spiral, and I couldn't really get it. But you know what? I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
It kind of felt good to do it in front of the home crowd and get the standing ovation and do it in front of the people that support you every single day. So I think it kind of worked out even better.
Talking to Manny Machado here on 97.3 The Fan for Friar Friday. And one of the things I love about you is that you love the game and the history of the game and the history behind the stats and all that stuff. And do you ever get to stop and think about 40 years from now, 30, 40 years from now? I know I'm going to be telling my unborn grandchildren that I'm sitting here interviewing you right now because I think you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. But do you ever give yourself the ability to stop and think about how you're going to be remembered?
Not really, honestly. Not really. I love living in the moment. I people ask me, how's it feel to hit 2,000 hits? Were you even thinking about that? And honestly, I kind of don't even want to reflect on it yet. I think I kind of want to wait for that and kind of look back and really realize, how cool all of this is. I kind of just, that's how I live life. I like living in the moment. I just enjoy every single day. Today's a brand new day, put yesterday in the past and enjoy what's today going to bring us. Right. And, I kind of just try to live by that way. But hopefully, one day I definitely want to look back. I know they're pretty cool numbers. They're pretty cool things I've been doing so far. But I kind of just want to keep living in the moment for a little bit more.
How long can you see yourself playing in your 40s?
I mean, I got no choice. I got no choice.
Deeper into your 40s, can you see yourself?
I mean, how this game is going, probably not. But yeah, I'm gonna try to. I mean, look, there's 2 sides of things, right? There's obviously I'm gonna be a little bit older. The game's gonna be younger. The game's probably gonna be faster. I mean, when I came up 10 years ago, it was average. You had 2 guys in the bullpen throwing 96.
Right.
I mean, you have two guys throwing 96 now, and everybody else is throwing harder than that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the lowest now at this point. So, is the game going to be at that level when I'm in the 40s? Who knows? But on the flip side of that, I mean, there's going to be technology. There's going to be stuff that you can do a lot better to take care of your body a lot better. You know, you're going to be able to recover faster. And I think, you know, me knowing myself, I'm probably going to be ahead of that curve on you know, trying to take care of my body as best as I can.
Talking to Manny Machado here on Friday, 97.3 The Fan. And I want to know, because you hit number 2000, was a hard hit single. Number 2001, a homer. Would you have switched those in your mind, or are you happy with how it played out?
No, I think I'm good how it played out. You know, I think it's better kind of just to have that moment for yourself and kind of just say, man, I would have preferred a double, honestly.
Okay.
I would have preferred a double than a single. But even before that, I was even telling Bogey, I walked out, I'm like, man, I think I'm going to butt. I think I'm going to butt one, you know, just to kind of get a little closer to that 2000.
That would have been memorable if you would have bunted on your 2000 hit. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Machado has joined the show. Manny, welcome. How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
I guess we got to start with the most important part. I mean, you reached a pretty big milestone, hit 2000, you hit 2004 now, you hit 350 early in the year. I mean, at what point in the offseason, at what point at all does this start to become something that you're actually thinking about? Because, I mean, that's a lot of hits, man. You ain't thinking about that from the beginning.
I knew the 3,000 was coming. I mean, I knew both of them going into the season where I was at, how many I was missing to get to those milestones. But thinking about it.
All right, 4 o'clock, which happens to be our final hour today. Got the Padres Roundtable, commercial-free hour of Padre Talk coming up at 5 o'clock. Skraby, you'll be on after that at 6 o'clock with the Chronicles.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow morning, Manager's Report, Mike Schilt on with Ben and Woods. Manager's Report refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water, just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Reds, Pirates. Paul Skeens has a run to work with. Home run by Brian Reynolds, 1-0 Bucks. There, Reds are the team the Padres, one of the teams the Padres got to stay ahead of to make sure we get into the postseason. No Padres baseball tonight. Tomorrow, Red Sox start the series. Saturday, Michael King returns to the mound for the Friars. That is the really good news of the day. We are getting ready now for our Chris versus the Fans contest. And let's do that. Scrape, I say the phone lines are back working today.
We might as well take advantage of it.
Right. The game could end at any moment.
It could.
But let's see what happens.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Let's get you the prize, which is a qualification for the grand prize, a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas, plus VIP admission to IU Day Club and $175 food and beverage credit. Celebrate summer with a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Dine poolside at one of the 5 unique pool experiences in the 5.5 acres pool complex, the largest elevated pool deck on the Las Vegas Strip, and experience IU Day Club, stunning oasis inspired by the idyllic islands of Southeast Asia, where the ultimate party concepts transform the weekend into a never-ending summer.
Do they know what they do to us with these reads that are like a half an hour long?
Special summer rates available now at rwlasvegas.com. Now offering no resort fees and complimentary parking. I am not going to criticize the read because we are getting a cool prize for everyone out there.
That is true. This is what we have to do.
Yes.
For you to get the prize.
You have to make it. Here's the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it. You'll get that question for free.
First-time player was a winner yesterday.
Yes, that's true. That is
right.
very true. All right, let me get the phone lines going. Let me get my doc going, and then we'll go. We'll go, Chris. Emilio in Mission Valley is up first. Hello, Emilio.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Good to have you on, Emilio. Good
Ready
luck
to play?
you.
Yes, I'm ready to play.
He's
All
ready.
right, here we go.
Let's go.
So I did a lot of these. They're teammates that you have to name the team that these guys played on. And
these are
so
tough.
I know I tried to make them easier, but I got in this kick last night. So here's an example, and Emilio's up first.
You're going to name 3 players.
No, I'm going to name 2 players.
Oh, 2 players.
I'm going to give you some of the teams that they played on together, and you have to guess the last team. I've tried to make it easy. Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha have been teammates with the Mets and the Royals in what other team?
That's a question
Padres.
1. Padres, yes. You got
See,
that.
there we go. I tried to make it a little bit
You
easier.
made that one easy. Let's see how
All
we
right,
go from here,
Next
though.
question.
I have a feeling this could go off the rails, but we'll see.
Well, okay, how about this?
Okay.
Trey Turner and Blake Trinan played together on the Dodgers and what other team?
Trey Turner and Blake Trinan were Dodger teammates, and where else?
I want to say the Phillies, but I don't remember Blake Trinan being on the Phillies.
Okay.
I don't think Trey Turner's played in any other team besides Padres organization. So I'm going to go with the Phillies.
Phillies.
Unfortunately, Emilio.
I don't think Trey Turner played for any other organizations except for Washington and the Phillies. I don't remember Blake Trinan in Washington, but I have nothing else to guess. Washington.
Apparently, Blake Trinan did play in Washington because that is correct. I'm sorry, Emilio.
About that,
Nice
Emilio.
job.
Emilio sounded like a good player, too.
Yeah.
You know, one
Call
of those
back,
guys that kind of
Emilio.
thought it through there. Just didn't work
Call
out for him
back,
today.
Emilio.
Okay.
All right, next
Move on here.
contestant. Oh, I didn't screen this caller, but
What are you doing?
the last 4 of your phone number.
Oh, my
I'm just
God.
kidding. Hello, are you there?
Hello?
Hello, what's
are
your
you,
name? I'm
Is your
sorry.
name Wireless Caller?
Oh, no, actually. It's
not.
Aiden from Escondido.
Oh,
That was my-
Aiden. Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
Aiden,
I
you're
know
on.
Aiden.
Aiden's on.
I appreciated wireless caller.
Yeah, I like
too,
that.
So, all right, Aiden, here
I
we
don't think
go.
I've ever called in before, but I'm ready.
All right.
Oh, is it your first time playing then?
No, I have played. I played 2 years ago.
Got
I
it.
filled in for my dad, and I remember I won, so I'm 1-0.
I like people who
And you
keep
know
their
what?
record.
Aiden being honest, he could have easily said that he's never called before, but he didn't.
Now, because he
Good
had
luck.
to get in the fact that he was 1-0. So in
I
order
think
to
it's
do
worth
that,
it. I think it's worth
in order
it.
to do that, he had to admit to have played before.
I think it's worth it. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see. Okay, let's change it up for a bit. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Which Padres pitcher got the win last night?
It's Adrian Morejon.
That is correct.
You know, if you don't know, just guess him. He's got more wins than anybody on the staff except for Pavetta.
Wandy Peralta was up there for a while.
Well, not anymore.
All right, good job. Here we go. Question number 2. Here's another teammate question. Freddie Freeman and Craig Kimbrell played on the Dodgers and what other team?
The Braves.
The Braves is correct. I think that may have been a question number 1, but it's fine.
It's a winner.
All right, here we
Aiden's
go.
on his way to being 2-0 in this game. If he keeps it up.
Question number 3.
Yeah.
I think this one's tough.
All right.
Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos are teammates on the Phillies and what other team?
Oh, this is in both of their early careers. I'm going to go to the Chicago Cubs.
Wow!
Give him the championship.
Nice job, Aiden. Stay right there.
Castellanos started with the Cubs.
I don't remember Castellanos with the Cubs whatsoever.
Yeah, he wasn't there long. Actually, Castellanos has been around a while.
He has. He's played
he started
for
with the
Cincinnati.
Tigers for 5 years.
Wait,
before
he
even
played
went-
for the Tigers for 5 years?
For 5 years, and then he went to the Cubs.
That's
So,
insane.
Anyway, that's a win for you, Aiden. You're 2-0, and it's quite fine with me if you don't call in to keep reminding us of that. But to stay on the line, you will qualify for a chance to go to Las Vegas. Well done, sir.
Yeah, that is well
And
done.
he got all 3, right? So I didn't even have to participate.
No, that was a clean sweep. That was a
That's
perfect
how
score.
That's how it's to be done out there. All right. Let's take a break. No, we can't take a break, right? I'm too early for a break.
Way too early.
All right. We got some preseason football. The first one of the night is underway, and it looks like preseason football.
It definitely
right?
looks like preseason
Who's that
football.
quarterback for Baltimore?
Cooper Rush, the former Cowboys backup.
All right, thank you. Cooper Rush is in the game. The Colts are going with Anthony Richardson as the starter.
Yes.
Daniel Jones is going to come into the game later. The big question in Baltimore for preseason football is really nothing. Baltimore's got a really good team. They don't have to worry too much about it. But the big concern for the Ravens, for the first time in memory, who is going to kick for them?
Number 33.
And they got a guy out there wearing number 33. His name is Tyler Loop, L-O-O-P. Now, I'm mentioning that because Tyler Loop, although a rookie from Arizona, will probably be drafted by a lot of people in fantasy football because he's going to be kicking for Baltimore, a team that scores a lot of points. He's replacing, of course, the deposed Justin Tucker. Look, Justin Tucker has gone from being Hall of Fame, widely recognized greatest kicker ever to an embarrassment. And that's, that's a hang with them if you did anything that these people said you did. It's not even a hang with them. It's a well-deserved.
Yeah, this is what you get.
Yeah. So, we'll
But he was
see.
suspended, I think, 8 games?
I'm not sure.
And he's allowed to go wherever he
Yeah, I
wants
don't know.
after. So
I try not to follow it. He and Deshaun Watson, I can't go there. It's too hard for me to even wrap my mind around. I know that they are going to swear innocence forever. It's pretty hard for me to buy it.
There was just
is that unfair by me, or am I the most?
No,
most
I
people
think
probably think that not this many people could lie.
Yeah, that's my thing is like it would be really hard for me to get a group of 15 people to come up with some lie that's going to ruin someone's life. I just don't think that happens. So I think when there's smoke, there's fire. He's just he kind of just took a suspension.
Yeah, he hasn't really been screaming from the rooftops. I would be.
Yeah.
If that happened.
If someone accused me of that, I would be like, I didn't do this.
Yeah, Pirates added 2. They lead the Reds 3-0. That's good news for Paul Skeens. He's got a lead to work with in the second inning. All right, now we can take a break. I want to leave some time in the next segment because it's time to touch on a little fantasy football. Remind you of who is supposed to really be good this year. Never too early to get ready for your draft. We'll give you some tips when Gwynn and Chris continues.
We finally switched.
17. I tried to say welcome and back at the same time.
Whack.
Came back with whack. Mariners have just tied it bottom of the 10th, 3-3 with the White Sox. 3-0 Pirates over the Reds. And 3-0 Colts over the Ravens. All right, it's never too early. Football's starting, right? I mean, we got preseason openers this weekend. So you got to start thinking about your fantasy football season. It's early, but let's just give you some fun to kind of reacquaint you with things. This is according to the ESPN expert Mike Clay.
I love Mike Clay.
You do?
I do.
All right, well, here's his 12 first-round picks this year, if it's a 12-team league, which I think most of us play.
I'll even say that I'm a massive fan of the ESPN Fantasy Focus podcast. Listen almost every day.
Okay. And that's you are a former champion in our league.
Thank you,
maybe
Chris.
because of that.
Thank you.
All right, here is his first-round picks. So, take it for what it's worth. Running backs, Bijan Robinson is the number 1 guy, number 2 overall. Saquon, pretty obvious.
Are you okay? Let's talk
I'm
about
just
that
giving
one.
you these running backs.
Yeah.
Let me give you this, and then
Okay,
we'll talk.
all right.
Bijan, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, third from running backs. These are all first-round picks. Christian McCaffrey, still first round, fourth. And then the other 2, these surprised me. I couldn't imagine making these first-round picks, but that's what Mike Clay says. 5th pick, running back, Ashton Genty.
People are really, really excited about
they
him.
haven't seen him even suit up yet.
They do this every
risk it.
year. They do this every year with some of the rookie
They did it with
running backs.
Bijan Robinson 2 years ago, and he was good, but not this good. How about 6th and also a first-round pick, Devon Achane.
I don't know about that one.
Look, nobody follows the guy closer than I do. I wouldn't take him in the first round. No way.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean,
about
he's
that
fast. I get that, but it's still the Dolphins. The other 6 first-round picks from Mike Clay are all wide receivers. He doesn't pick any quarterbacks in the first round, nor should you.
one. I don't think these are. I think these are his rankings per position, unless you have like
I'm giving you his
all right
12. Just trust me. I understand how fantasy football works. These are his 12 first-round picks.
Are you sure, Chris?
Number 1, Jamar Chase. I'm just going to not listen to you. He's the number 1 overall pick. So if you got first pick in your league, that's who everybody says to take. Justin Jefferson, always right there. Number 3 overall pick. CeeDee Lamb, number 6. You ready to go Puka Nacua this high?
I do like Puka.
8th overall. Malik Neighbors, his second year. Number 9 overall.
He's got Russell Wilson now.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I always think is a first-rounder. There's your top 12 first-round picks according to Mike Clay. Now, how about by position? Let's take a look at that for you. Quarterbacks. Who you got number 1, Skrabe, on your list? Who's number 1? If you're down, you need a quarterback, and there's none taken, who would you take?
Joe Burrow.
They have him 5th.
What?
No.
I guess he doesn't rush enough.
He doesn't run.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's number 1, followed by Josh Allen.
That was really stupid of me.
Followed by Jaden Daniels, followed by Jalen Hurts.
I just lost the league drafting
Those are
Joe
4
Burrow.
great runners. Joe Burrow 5th, Patrick Mahomes 6th, and this surprised me for 7th. Am I ready to jump on the Bo Nix bandwagon? If you look at his stats last year, you might jump on.
He runs the ball a good amount.
He's number 7. Guys at the bottom of the quarterback, Geno Smith, 25th.
Yeah.
Michael Penix, they're not buying into him yet. 24th, Cam Ward, first pick. 23rd, Matthew Stafford.
That's surprising.
22nd, Tua, 21st.
Where's Brock?
Brock's 10th, right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
All right, running backs. Number 1, we already told you, right? It's
Bijan,
Gibbs, Barkley, Genty, McCaffrey, Achane. Derrick Henry, 7th. He's always pretty reliable, and he always knows when he's playing against me.
Me too.
Right? Some of these guys just always kill you. Jonathan Taylor, kind of dropped from last year, but he's still pretty good. Here's a name that you probably don't know very well. Number 9 for running backs, Bucky Irving.
Oh, he was good last year.
Tampa Bay.
He was very good.
Bottom of the running back list, Nick Chubb, now with Houston. Isaac Garendo, your guy, but he's behind McCaffrey. Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to find some starters that are way down here. Najee Harris, I don't know if he's going to ever even come back and play again after what happened to him.
Firework incident.
Austin Eckler, 34th. Could do a lot worse than that. Brian Robinson, Washington, not far ahead of him, 32nd. Anyway, everyone else is in the middle.
Let me tell you, since we're on the running backs,
Yeah.
let's talk about Saquon real quick.
Okay.
I had Saquon in one of my leagues last year, and he was incredible.
Sure.
Are you nervous about
him doing it again?
Yeah. Or no, not doing it again. Like, just,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We both said the same thing, just differently.
Yes.
Yeah, I would be nervous.
Me too.
I'm not sold on Saquon. He proved me wrong for an entire season and then some, but I mean, the game he had against the Rams last year was
incredible.
Was it a Sunday night or Monday night game?
I think it was
He must have rushed
Sunday
for 700 yards in that game. It was just every time they handed off, he went for a touchdown.
Yeah. Here's a guy on TV, I think, right here. I'm pointing like people could see it. Like, I'm dumb. Keaton Mitchell for the Ravens.
Okay.
Very, very
sneaky pick, you say?
Sneaky pick.
Okay, but again, they got Derrick Henry. What are they going to give Keaton Mitchell the ball for?
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah. I think you're stupid.
I should just stop talking.
Yeah, you're the one that
No,
said...
but Keaton Mitchell he's their change of pace guy. He's going to catch a lot of passes. He's going to take...
He's a 12th round pick at best.
Okay, I'll take him. You leave him on the board.
Wide receiver rankings, we told you Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Nakua, Neighbors, St. Brown. Nico Collins, 7. He has a good year. Brian Thomas, underrated from last year. A.J. Brown, 9th. Drake London. Here's a name that I wouldn't put this high, but they do. Lad McConkey. Sold on him. How the mighty have fallen. Tyreek Hill, 13th wide receiver. Devontae Adams, 14th.
Wow.
Yeah, those guys used to be way up there. Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Can you come back, Chris? 34th.
Who's the quarterback of the Saints?
I think it's Billy
Dick.
Kilmer. Back from the 70s. I don't know who the Saints have anymore over there.
I was like, wait, is that an actual guy?
No, I've lost the Saints quarterback I don't know who they have. Travis Hunter. They rank him 33rd at wide receiver. Would you take him if he's sitting around? Some people think he's just the greatest thing ever.
I don't think I would take him.
I don't either.
I just have to see if I miss out on a great player, then I miss out. But I'd rather let
somebody else try
great.
him.
Yeah.
Top tight end, Brock Bowers. I would think he was pretty awesome last year. Trey McBride was right behind him, although he could never get a touchdown. George Kittle, Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson still high up. Travis Kelce, 6th on tight ends. He used to be the clear number 1.
He did.
On down the line here, number 12, rookie Colston Loveland of the Bears. If I never drafted a rookie in fantasy, I'd be okay with it. I just don't trust them.
The only rookie from last year, I'm forgetting his name right now. He played for the Raiders. Brock Bowers.
He's number 1. I just said he's number 1.
That would be the only rookie that
would have been a
anyone
good guy
should
to
take.
have last year. Worst tight end, according to this, are way down at the bottom. Cade Otton, Pat Fryermuth, those kinds of guys. Darren Waller, what's he even doing on the list? I thought he's already out.
Back with the Dolphins.
Yes, and then he went right on the PUP list immediately before they even suited up.
I didn't know that.
And another stupid Dolphins signing. They lead the league in those. Do we need to check in on the kickers? Probably not.
Nah.
Jake Bates of Detroit. He was my kicker last year. You know what? I didn't win it last year. Thomas beat me in the semifinals, but I think I had the team that I'll never get again last year. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was good last year, but
not good enough.
Right. You got to have, they got to be, the right time. All right. There's a little, reminder that fantasy football's coming. Oh, of course. I think it's fun to look at the list again and go, oh, yeah. Or, like, really, that guy? You think he's going to be jumping that high up? So we'll see. We'll talk more fantasies, as we go along. And by the way, if you're wondering when our draft is for our league, do what we do. Ask the commissioner and then wait.
We do this every year.
But our commissioner is...
I will say Tony is involved as a commissioner.
He got better last year. He was on top of it. He was way ahead of the game.
I know.
This year he's slipping back to...
I don't know.
Tony.
I'm not going to try to upset the commissioner before he takes a draft pick away from me or something. I did text him earlier this week saying...
To remind him that the season's coming up?
Yeah.
Number 18th ranked kicker, one of my favorite names in football.
Don't say it.
What, Younghoe Koo?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dicker the kicker.
Oh, he's second. Dicker the kicker's second on the kicker list this year, if you're wondering.
Oh.
I like the name Younghoe.
He was a former Charger.
He was.
We should say that Rashawn Slater of the Chargers, tackle, out for the year with a torn patellar tendon.
One of the protectors for Justin Herbert.
That's a big deal.
That is a big injury.
Yeah.
All right, we got a big five coming up next to wrap things up today. And then, Slater done for the year. Boy, that is a tough one for the Chargers.
Sounds like a really bad injury.
I feel bad for Rashawn Slater. I don't feel bad for the team that owns him or the owners.
Or the team he plays for.
Right. To me, they deserve all of the bad karma that'll happen forever. And I think everyone in San Diego agrees with me. All right, big five. Next, stick around. Marcelo. Tony Gwynn Jr. idol, Matt Skraby alongside. Coming up on today's Big Five, before we get to it, the Mariners and the White Sox, they're in the bottom of the 11th, 3-3. Mariners batting. You start the inning with a man on second, right? Game's tied. How do you not bunt the guy to third here? I don't get it. Now, the batter may come through and win the game, but et cetera. It just, I don't get this kind of stuff. Like, it seems like such a no-brainer.
Are you talking about the home team?
Yes, the home team in a tie game.
In a tie game, yes, you have to do it.
I think you do, but they're not. And so, we'll see. Mariners are trying to win the ball game here. Pirates still lead the Reds 3-0 with Skeens on the mound.
Does it change your thought any that the 6-hitter was up and then you're going to get the 7-8 hitter if you just give up that out?
Well, the 6-hitter just struck out.
Yeah,
so now the 7 and 8 hitter coming up with the man still on second. I just am not a fan of what they did, but they know the team better than I do. Your guy Keaton Mitchell, touchdown run, Ravens 7, Colts 3. You get no fantasy points for that, though, Skrabe.
That's an unfortunate
and also
turn of events.
Advice from a guy who hasn't won the championship. Don't get enamored with preseason statistics. I mean, that's a fair bit of advice. How many preseason guys have had monster preseasons? Season starts, the starter comes in, you never see the guy again. Happens all the time.
I haven't counted.
All right, let's get to traffic and the Big Five because we got things to do. Places to go.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Robert Half. Seen way too many accidents involving motorcycles. People got one on northbound 15 just past Villa Rancho Parkway. It's in the center divide. Another crash involving a motorcycle west 78. This one's right before El Camino Real. 2 left lanes are blocked. Also, collision on southbound 15 near the 163. This is in the center divide. Further down before El Cajon Boulevard, crash in middle lanes. Also, traveling on the eastbound 94 just before Bancroft. Collision involving a couple vehicles there in the center divide. Tow truck rolling up to assist with that. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why the recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Chris, I have early odds on the best team in football, Baltimore Ravens.
Based on what you've seen in the first half of the first quarter of the
Keaton
first
Mitchell,
preseason game.
Touchdown run, punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, long one. Some guy named Wester.
Some guy named...
Not Devin Hester, but... somebody.
Wouldn't that be
Wester.
great if his name was Devin Wester?
That would be a pretty interesting name.
All right, 2 things real
to go
quick
along
before...
with. It's I don't know his name, but his first initial is L. 87-yard punt return.
That's pretty good.
Ravens
pretty good.
14, or did they miss the kick?
Nope, didn't.
Okay, 14-3. And by the way, the Mariners, after I complained about their strategy, the guy struck out, but the next guy got a hit, so they did beat the White Sox 4-3.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Mariners.
Okay.
I also have a small issue with walk-off celebrations. They were throwing a bunch of sunflower seeds at them. That's a waste of sunflower seeds, Chris. Why are they wasting sunflower seeds like that? You don't have that same thought when you see a bunch of sunflower seeds thrown in the air?
I don't.
Okay.
I know my mom would say that there's somebody starving in Asia, but no, I don't have that same thought.
Yeah, there is. Okay. 2 things. Tonight at 6:20, I talked to Mason Miller last Saturday in the Padres clubhouse. We talked about his diabetes diagnosis. Also, I asked him about his debut with the Padres that happened last Friday, and so that will happen at 6:20 next Friday. Join us live at Islands and Carmel Mountain as we broadcast live from 2 to 6 p.m. on August 15th. We'll be giving away a baseball signed by Fernando Tatis Jr. as well as 2 pairs of tickets for when San Francisco comes to town on August 20th, which is the same day as the Michael King bobblehead. So if you want to get the Michael King bobblehead and you haven't gotten tickets yet, come down to Islands next Friday, Carmel Mountain Ranch, because we will be giving away tickets to that game. So Friday, August 15th, yeah. Come hang with us, stay after, watch the Padres and the Dodgers play up in L.A.
I got one quick note from that football game. Guy returned the punt. LaJonte Wester played for your friend Dion at Colorado last year.
Oh.
He had the 87-yard punt return.
I don't like how you say your friend.
Man,
like
because
I
you don't
hate
like
him.
Dion.
I'm fine with
trying
him.
to rub it in. You hate Dion.
I'm sorry about it. I'm legitimately 100% sorry about his health issues.
You don't like Dion. It's okay.
All right, let's get into
you
it.
Can admit it.
Number 5.
The Padres are just 2 games back of the National League West, and after giving up on the division earlier in the year, we wanted the division. We gave up on the division. We are now back to wanting the division.
Right. I gave up on it at least a month ago for sure. When they were 8 games back, I said it was over.
The last time the Padres were 2 games back of the Dodgers was June 13th. 2 weeks later, they were 7 games behind, but since falling a season-high 9 games back on July 3rd, the Padres have gone 17-10, while the Dodgers have gone 10-16.
Okay.
So, Chris, are we just being hopeful for the division with just over 6 weeks to go in the regular season?
Well, we are being hopeful, but
Is there reality to it?
I think so. I said it on the roundtable. You'll hear it in the roundtable coming up at 5 o'clock, but I think you have to readjust your thinking now. I think you, as a fan, I think you should expect and really want to win this division. And I think the Padres, should be thinking about it. To me, there's a lot at stake. I don't want this Padre team to play 2 games at Wrigley Field and somehow get unlucky and go home. I want this Padre team to have a bye. I want them to have home field advantage in the next round, which is 3 out of 5, where somebody'd have to beat you 3 times. They'd have to beat you in your ballpark to advance. Whereas that 2-game coin flip thing, I don't know where that can go. So I don't want that. I think the Padres have a legit shot to win the division, and they should be going for it. And if they don't get it, I think we should be disappointed.
Oh, wow. That just hit me. Disappointed if they don't win the division.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not mad. I'm not going to,
Are you going to give up on the team if they lose the division?
No, I'm going to be disappointed though if they don't win it. I mean, I'll rejigger and I'll root for them to win the wild card thing, but I'm going to be disappointed. I think they should beat the Dodgers right now.
I agree with you. I think they should beat the Dodgers. They should win the division with the team that they have on paper right now. Everything's going right at the moment, so of course I feel this way. They have 6 games against the Dodgers starting next week for the next 2 weeks. 6 games against them. Those are games that's going to probably decide the division.
Everybody says that unless it's 3-3, and then they won't decide anything, and it'll be decided elsewhere.
I don't think in those absolutes.
By the way, this is weird to me. Maybe not to you. Bengals and Eagles are playing tonight, preseason.
Get off of you can't tell people not to bet on preseason football and then lock in on preseason
you're stupid
football.
To bet on it, but this is surprising. Joe Burrow has already hit 3 passes to Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Are you not surprised that they're playing in the game?
No, Patrick Mahomes is going to play the first quarter. They only have 3 preseason games now.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
Why.
Number 4.
Carry on.
Many questions. Carry on.
Carry on.
Many questions have been raised by people over the NFL's deal with ESPN, which will see the NFL own 10% of ESPN's equity. Critics are saying this is a really slippery slope. And from an article I read about the conflict of interest this morning, they posed this question, quote, will ESPN's investigative journalists truly remain free to dig into and report on the league's owners, executives, and the serious issues impacting the sport in a way that allows them to truly hold a billion-dollar corporation accountable, end quote. I'm up first. Do we think that this is going to be a problem? We've said it all week. I think this is going to be a problem. I don't think that the NFL is going to want ESPN to report on any bad doings from owners. You know, if there's any news that come out about Roger Goodell, I don't think he wants that to happen. They're going to maybe not say it to them like, hey, you can't report this story, but they're going to give them that look like, report the story if you want to. Wink, wink. The NFL is going to have control over this. I am worried about it, Chris.
I'm not worried about it because I think the ESPN already looks out for the NFL.
I mean, they did release
been in bed together.
I guess the Daniel Snyder thing, all the owners wanted him gone anyway, so what did they care?
Yes, I think that was okayed by the ownership. Like, good, find out as much as you can about Daniel Snyder. This is the way to get him out. I think ESPN. It's almost impossible now for any big conglomerate like that to be able to report fairly. After all, look at all the stuff. I don't want to give Pablo Torre too much credit here because he kind of, he rubs me the wrong way. But he and Florio came up with that whole thing about, how the coercion.
Collusion.
Collusion.
Yes.
How the collusion was basically just totally not talked about.
Yeah.
Can't tell me ESPN didn't know something about that. They just didn't report on it.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I would have to look back, but I don't remember Adam Schefter screaming
of course
from the
not.
rooftops.
And so Adam Schefter knows everything, but somehow he didn't hear about this?
Yeah.
But Pablo S. Torre did?
Yeah.
Look, if you don't, ESPN's already been protecting the NFL, so I don't think much is going to change.
All right.
Number 3.
New Rams wide receiver. Yes, Rams wide receiver. Davante Adams was recently on the Pivot podcast, and he was asked about Jaguars two-way player Travis Hunter. And here's what Davante Adams had to say about the prospect of him playing offense and defense.
I don't even think it's possible to do for real, not at a high level, and then go in there. It's hard enough to go cover a punt and then be on one side, and I haven't done it. I'm not acting like I'm on kickoff or punt, but I can see the dudes, and I know you got your guys, and you see the yardage of my yardage over the game versus somebody that starts on offense and then plays special teams as well. Like, that's just a lot of mileage, man. And I don't know how long. I'm not even concerned so much if he can do it over the course of a game or a season. It's more like, how long is his career going to be?
So there you go. That was Davante Adams. By the way, he's wearing a very obnoxious LA Dodgers hat in this video. I just had
the guy has his own Taco Bell in his house. Come on.
He does. He does. Where was I going to go with this? Okay, Chris, at the end of the year, how do you think Travis Hunter's playing time breaks down?
Well, this is hard because we're all assuming that he just can't do it. Most of us are pretty much on the Davante Adams camp here. We've never seen it. We don't see how he can do it. The level of play is so high, hard enough to do one thing, let alone both. So I don't want to be, this old, guy in the lawn who says, no chance. Maybe this guy's just something crazy and he can do it. I mean, Ohtani's doing stuff we haven't seen since Babe Ruth. I don't know.
That's true.
Maybe this guy. But I think the likely answer is that he's going to play mostly defense and he's going to run some patterns on third down because the Jaguars have guys. They got Brian Thomas. They have, they might send him deep, on a third down, stretch the defense. I think he's going to be more of a cornerback and kind of a fun, little toy on offense.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen, but I don't want to put it past him.
I don't know which side of the ball he's going to play more, but he's going to play a lot more of that side of the ball, which is basically what you said. I've read both, Chris. I've read that he's an offensive guy, and I've read that he's a defensive guy. Davante Adams goes on to say in that clip that it's like, what, you're going to tackle Derrick Henry with that frame? And that's the biggest thing to me. Is
I know, but Deion Sanders made the Hall of Fame, and he never tackled anyone.
Was he a small?
He didn't.
Well, Deion Sanders is a freak of an athlete.
Well, maybe this guy's a freak of an athlete. He just might be. I don't know. I don't see it, but I'm not good enough to judge that stuff.
Me neither. I gotta see it in action first, but I'm looking forward to seeing what can happen.
Sure.
With him.
Number 2.
Reds manager Terry Francona is keeping it real, and he has always kept it real. His Reds took 2 of 3 from the Cubs this week, but lost in the series finale after his team managed just 4 hits and struck out 12 times. Francona was not in the mood for silver linings at all. When asked whether he could take anything positive away from the series, despite winning the 2 out of 3, here's what he said to the reporter who asked the question.
Getting out of here, you got a couple of wins and also started the week with quite a bit of adversity. And is there anything to take out of this week here?
I don't ever do that.
I know.
I don't know why you asked that. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't. If I thought it was productive, I'd do it. It's just not a productive way to do things.
So he said, I don't know why you asked that. Everybody's like, it's a fair question, Terry Francona. So my question to us is, are silver linings a positive? And I would say in sports, silver linings you could take. I take silver linings in life, but in sports, I'm not a big silver lining fan, because if you lose the game, but you're like, oh, well, they played really well. Who cares? They lost the game. So in this case, I don't think it was a terrible question, but I don't know that Terry Francona reacted in the wrong way. What do you think, Chris?
I think Terry Francona looked this guy up later and apologized. I don't know. But I just think he reacted stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't he known for kind of saying stuff like this?
No, Terry Francona's a pretty good guy, from what I hear.
No, I know, but isn't he pretty honest and brutal?
Unless he'd already told this reporter like many times this year that I don't take silver lining. But it didn't sound like it. It sounded like he was just saying, I don't like to do that, so why'd you ask it? And I think Terry Francona's kind of rude there. Because I think we all understand what the the reporter was trying to get.
Yeah, you took 2 of 3
you
from
got
the
2
Cubs.
of 3. You lost this game, but is there anything you're happy about?
Yeah.
All right. But having said that, Mike Schilt finds silver linings every single night.
That's a great point.
And it works for him.
That's a great point.
Don Shula said, quote, nothing good comes from losing.
Okay.
That worked for him. So
it's your style, I guess.
Right. The answer's in there somewhere.
Mike Schilt is a big silver linings guy, and I don't know why I didn't think of that, because he does make me think like, okay, well, he's right. The guys hit the ball hard.
I mean, I read his quotes in the paper the next day, and I'm like, yeah, but we still lost.
That's what a lot of people say, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Number 1.
Despite early 2026 NFL mock drafts projecting Texas quarterback Arch Manning as the first-round pick, his grandfather, Archie, states Arch, there's too much Arch going on in here, will not declare early and will remain at Texas, a stronger stance than his previous hope for Arch to finish his career with the Longhorns. In December 2024, Archie said he had, quote-unquote, hoped that Arch would finish out his career with the Longhorns. So now he's saying it will happen. We all know what Archie did with Eli in the draft, Chris. So you're up first. Why does Archie Manning insert himself into these things?
Because they ask him.
But why doesn't he just go, I don't know?
I don't think he calls anybody and says, here's what's going to happen.
Why doesn't he just say, I don't know, ask my grandson?
Archie Manning's kind of the godfather of quarterbacks.
He was on a terrible team.
He also was pretty damn good. He almost won the MVP one year. And actually might have won it if it was close. Anyway, his kids did something no other quarterback family's ever done. So he's going to be asked about it.
Do you understand it?
I do. I don't know what's going to happen with Arch Manning, and I don't think that Archie can answer it definitively because so many things can change.
Yeah. What if he plays really well? What if he gets hurt? Whatever. All right. I just wanted to get in an Archie Manning shot.
Well, I have one quick thing on Texas. Did you see this thing that the actor Glenn Powell did for Texas? He went there.
No.
He gave a scholarship to one of the football players who didn't have one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty nice thing.
That's
that
a really
Glenn
nice
Powell did. Although my first, he went to, he was some video. They played it at practice or after practice in the meeting. And there's a kid on the team that had no scholarship at all, which I don't understand at Texas because they have more money than God.
Exactly.
They should be able to give everybody one. But Glenn Powell, nice guy to do that.
Very nice.
But my thing, Arch Manning should have given the kid the money. Arch Manning makes more money than Glenn Powell.
He does.
Ridiculous.
Real quick, the Roundtable Replay is a part of our happy hour, which is brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. Baseball season is in full swing, and so is swim season. Call GL Pools and mention radio for a free month of pool service.
Joe Burrow touchdown pass. Bengals on top early. Talking baseball roundtable, commercial free next, and Skraby after that. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, it's Ben and Wood.
Listen up, Friar Faithful. 97.3 The Fans Padres Roundtable is on the air.
Unbelievable!
It's time to discuss everything going on with the Padres. The 97.3 The Fan crew is here for the most in-depth discussion on the Friars in our weekly Padres Roundtable, delivered by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. And now, here's your host, Ben Higgins.
Got to say, the mood is pretty good right now for San Diego Padres fans. Welcome in to our Roundtable Padres Roundtable, commercial free. And we got the most fearsome fivesome this side of the Padres bullpen with you today. Starting on my far left with Matt Skraby, Paul Reindl sitting next to him, Braden Suprenant in the middle today.
What's up?
And Chris Ello right to my left. Hello, Chris.
Just want to make sure Braden's okay after the 12-hour turnaround.
It's quick
from last night. He
12-hour
signed off his post-game show. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to get here in time.
Yeah, got to break down.
Right?
Got to break down tape too. I mean,
yeah, I know you do.
Nonstop. Get ready for USD season.
As speculated, last week's roundtable was somewhat incomplete in its analysis of the trade deadline when we left at 11 a.m. and AJ Preller still had quite a few moves to make. We talked a lot about the Mason Miller deal, and then a bunch of other moves came down, resulting in a fairly, I think we can all agree, complete San Diego Padres roster. Lineup, top to bottom, bullpen, even the starting rotation with Michael King now set to return on Saturday. Looking pretty good for the Padres going forward so far. So I'll start the questioning today with Matt Skraby at the end. How does the trade deadline change, if at all, your expectations now for the rest of this Padres season?
It did change because they got so much better that now they've set the bar even higher. And with what they've been doing since the trade deadline and what they look like, and Ryan O'Hearn hitting a game-tying home run last night, like I expect them to go deep in the playoffs now. That's what the moves were made for. And AJ Preller did it without abandon. So that's what I expect from them.
The playoffs can be a bit of a crapshoot, a lot of a crapshoot in baseball. However, it does feel like if there was ever a World Series or bust sort of mentality for the San Diego Padres, Paul, this is it. Is it ever fair to even say World Series or bust expectations?
Yeah, 100% it's fair. You move the goalposts sometimes. Sometimes you move them forward. Sometimes you move them back. I don't like moving them back, but I do like moving them forward because that means, like, look, things have changed since spring training. Things have changed since last Wednesday, like what Matt was just saying. Like, these moves were made with some thought of like future years, like next year, like, hey, left field's good. Like, I like that. We have a catcher now for next year. That's great. But the moves were made to go all in for this year, and you've gotten close now. You've knocked on the door a couple of times. I just can't really see too many scenarios. Like, heading into the year, it was make the playoffs, get into the dance, see what happens. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Now, I can't see any scenario in which the Padres like lose in the wild card or the divisional or even the NLCS, and we go, it's still a pretty fun, pretty good season, successful season. Like, their sights are set on the World Series, and I think anything less than that, we walk away at the end of the year going feeling disappointed.
What do you think, Braden? What is a fair level of expectations now, given not only how good the Padres roster looks, but remember there's competition out there in the National League as well that looks pretty good also?
In terms of expectations, and you mentioned like how much of a crapshoot it is to like make it through the playoffs. To me, the only thing that would be disappointing about this season would be losing in the divisional series or doing worse than that. I think would be a disappointing season. I think if they make the NLCS again, the way things play out in baseball, even though I think they have a really good chance of making the World Series, I think they have a loaded lineup now to potentially win a World Series. As you mentioned, Ben, with how much of a crapshoot baseball is, there's some things that might not go your way in some of those series. So if they made the NLCS and lost in Game 7, I don't think people would be like furious with AJ Preller and the San Diego Padres. So from that perspective, I think that's the expectations. In terms of, has it changed for me? I thought they could compete for a division title down the stretch. I think you asked that question a couple of roundtables ago, and I think I said, maybe they'll finish 2 or 3 games out. Now with the lineup they have and the team that they have, I think they got a really good chance at winning the National League West, but we'll see what happens in the 6 games against LA.
I don't know. Chris, you talked about your car a couple of weeks ago, that you don't spend money on anything, but you splurged a little bit because you wanted a nice car and you drive a nice, Mercedes. That's important to you. The Padres have spent now, whether it be with prospects or actual money, on the finest, that they think baseball can buy. If you don't get that, if you just get a nice, reliable $35,000 car and you spent $120,000 thinking you were getting a top of the line sports car, you're not going to be happy. They're now looking for a top of the line result based on what they've put into this season, both payroll wise and prospect wise.
I think it's funny. My expectations, I haven't even thought about them. All I've done is really miss all the prospects they traded away, Ben. I think, I don't know how they could do that.
We share a moment of silence for Leo DeVries before every show.
Who?
Well, look, does anybody even know the name of the prospects they sent to the Orioles as the ball was flying over the fence last night? They may have to pay the bill down the road, but you're talking about it. Everyone's excited, right? And they should be. The team looks great. My expectations are a little different because I don't think you can even put expectations on the playoffs. That is what a crapshoot it all is. You could lose the first 2 games and be done before you hardly even get started. So my expectations have now changed where I want to win the division. It's time to topple the Dodgers in the regular season. They have won this thing, 10 out of 11 years? And the Giants got the other one. Let's beat them. Let's win this thing, a series here, the 6 games coming up, and let's go in as let's try our luck with a bye instead of let them play the first 2 game thing and see what happens. So that's kind of where my expectations have gone.
All right, well, let's go there because I do think that is the goal now. It's almost the stated goal of the Padres. You want to win the division, see if you can get one of those top 2 seeds. They're currently 2 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. Now that the trade deadline is passed and the rosters are pretty much fixed for the rest of the year, how do you think those 2 teams compare roster to roster, offense to offense, starters to starters, bullpen to bullpen, defense to defense, manager to manager? However you want to break it down, Braden, the Padres versus the Dodgers. Who has the edge now going forward based on how the teams are currently constructed?
Based on how they're currently constructed and with, maybe some pitchers coming back, I guess, for LA, but you don't even know what they're going to be like with guys like Blake Snell. I think the Padres stack up better than LA. I mean, I think it's hard to compare their top 3, but their top 3 are not like Mookie Betts is not having a great season. Obviously he's dealing with a lot of stuff too. And we don't ever want to see that for any particular player, but he's not playing well at the top of the order. I think a lot of the bottom half of the Dodgers order is not very good. I mean, the Padres got rid of their Michael Conforto spot in the order. They got rid of the player that's hitting under 200. The Dodgers haven't necessarily done that. I think the bullpen is better for San Diego. If you want to talk about pitching depth, I know that the Dodgers are a little beat up, might be getting some guys back. Their starting rotation might be better than the Padres starting rotation, maybe. But I think overall, if you look at it, it's very comparable, if not an edge to the Padres in almost every single outlet.
Paul, we talked about it this morning. I give the Dodgers the check mark for starting pitching. Health is certainly going to be a big factor, but they got good starters. I gave the Padres a big check for the bullpen. The Padres have an elite bullpen that can compare with anybody's in baseball. I gave the Dodgers a light check mark on offense, even with some of the flaws that Braden brought up. Teoscar Hernandez can still be dangerous. Max Muncy's hot again, and he's back.
Their ceilings top to bottom are a little bit higher.
It's closer than it used to be. I'll even be generous. But I think everywhere else, defense, give it to the Padres. Manager, I give it to the Padres. I know Dave Roberts is wearing a World Series ring, but we've seen a bunch of bad managerial. I like, Paulie, where the Padres stand in comparison to the Dodgers the rest of the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask for clarification. Are you talking about the next 50 games or like head-to-head in a divisional? Or
I'm talking about just, the rest of the way. Just right now where
that changes things because you manage your starting rotation, your bullpen a little bit differently, obviously, in the playoffs. In a playoff matchup, I think the Padres rotation all of a sudden matches up a little bit better with the Dodgers over the course of the next, month and a half. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. On the pitching side, I think I take our bullpen. I'll probably concede the lineup just like you. I think it's a lot closer than it was certainly a week ago. I mean, when you're looking at this Padres lineup, that 6, 7, 8, 9 spot in your order was pretty tough to watch at times. And now when you're throwing like Ramon Laureano or even a Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, Gavin Sheets off the bench, man, that changes things. And having like a guy like Freddie Fermin who can go 3 for 4 in the catcher spot, like, it's just changed so much, and adding a couple of pieces. Like, I don't know that I won't speak for you guys. Like, were you surprised at how much adding just a couple of pieces lengthened the lineup for the Padres? Because it's like,
that was the idea, but I mean, it's worked
to see it actually
better than
play
I could have
out.
even possibly
Yes,
imagined so far.
It's been shocking to see how it played out. So I'm really encouraged with the moves that they made. I really can't wait for those 6 games and 9 days or whatever we've got coming up later this month. But just in general, the next 47, I think that's 47 games remaining. It's going to be intense, man, every single night.
Commercial free, 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. It really is pizza royalty. And Chris, we saw home runs from Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn. I still think that's the lineup edge that the Dodgers have remains power-wise. One of the most prolific home run hitting teams in baseball. That can always be a big edge, especially in the postseason. Padres haven't caught up there. They've narrowed a gigantic gap a little bit, but that's why I keep giving the Dodgers the edge there. How do you see the two rosters comparing the rest of the way?
Yeah, the power surge is really a huge gap, but we got closer. Padres are still second to last in baseball. Dodgers are either first or second with the Yankees. Dodgers have hit 25 3-run homers this year. The Padres have hit 7. Those are game-changing swings. However, the Padres win on the edges. That is my favorite part of this team. I know that the focus is on your lineup and your ERA. The edges is where the Padres are better than the Dodgers. They have to perform, though. They have to take advantage of that advantage they have. The Dodgers still throw the ball into right field, trying to turn a double play like they did yesterday. The base running, I think the Padres can win there. And you gave a big check to the bullpen, which I think we should. But let's not forget that when the Dodgers won last year in the series, their bullpen won it for them. So, they're still got to go out and prove it.
I acknowledge that gap could be narrowed with guys like Blake Trinan, Rusdar Gratterall coming back. If Tanner Scott gets healthy again, Kirby Yates comes off the injured list, they can narrow that gap as the season goes on, depending on their health level. Matt, how do you think the Padres and Dodgers compare roster-wise?
I echo everything that everybody said. The one thing I think that stands out to me was Chris talked about this the first time the Padres played the Dodgers up at Dodger Stadium, and their lineup with Tommy Edman hitting 8th or 9th, we pointed that out as the Padres just can't compete with that with their current lineup. Now they can compete with that with the guys that they have. And I also think Padres have, knock on wood, wherever it is, health on their side. And that's the Dodgers have been struggling with injuries all season long, and maybe they'll get these guys back. But Padres seem like, I don't even want to say it, but they just seem like they're clicking right now.
I always worry about getting too overly focused on the Dodgers. They are good. They're spending a ton of money, but there are other really good teams, especially in the National League, to contend with. Who do you think is the biggest threat now outside of the Dodgers to keep the Padres from going where they want to go going forward? Chris?
Philadelphia.
Phillies?
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. I think the Mets got a little bit better because they picked up Helsley and Rogers for their 7th and 8th inning. But the starters on the Mets, I don't think match up. The Cubs, I don't think have any pitching at all. And I felt it all year, especially the injury to Steele really hurt them. Imanaga has come back. The Cubs can't get there with the kind of pitching they have, I don't think. So Philadelphia is the one. And they had one Achilles heel. And they were able to get Duran to pitch the 9th inning. I don't see any other Achilles heels with the Phillies.
Does anyone have a vote for someone other than the Phillies? Matt?
I'll go out on a limb because number one would be Phillies, but I think the Reds are super dangerous, and I've said this a couple times. They have good pitching, and they have an offense that can put up a ton of runs in a hurry. Andrew Abbott yesterday went, I think, 6 or 7 innings of shutout ball, and then boom, their bullpen comes in and gives up the game. But they're, for the most part, they're set up for that magical postseason run as long as they get in the playoffs.
You're going to put Emilio Pagan up against Suarez and
He's been
Tyson
pretty
Miller?
good this year.
You know
I'm
what?
not saying that their roster's
I'll
better.
I'll defend Matt in a sense, and I'll say the Reds are dangerous, but maybe to like the Mets or
Okay.
another team
All
that's
right.
kind of struggling right
I can
now.
buy that. I can buy that.
Rather than the Padres. I think the Padres are looking forward and up toward the Dodgers rather than, seeing who's coming back in the rearview mirror. And I think that's a great place to be. Braden?
I was down on Milwaukee, but I don't know what kind of voodoo magic or make people stay in haunted hotels that they do, but I don't know how they're good, and I don't know how they continue to
they're
win.
3 games ahead of the whole league.
They're better than everybody.
I
right
know.
now. And it doesn't make any sense. And the fact that I don't know why they're so good is a little bit of a concern to me, because it just feels like Milwaukee. Like, does anybody feel afraid when you draw the Brewers in the playoffs? Just like historically what they've done in the last 10 or 15 years, they're always there, and then they always do something bad.
It's like
but-
drawing the Twins in the playoffs.
Right,
It's
exactly.
Like, yeah,
It's
they're going to
like-
be there, but
I
they're going to
don't-
be gone real quickly.
And maybe it's like their division's not very good, but like they continue to win, and I don't know why, and I don't know how, and they obviously have decent pitching. You look at their lineup; they have some good players, but they don't have anybody that really jumps out to you. But they concern me a little bit, because I feel like I've underestimated them the entire season, where we're focused on the Phillies, but like Milwaukee for some reason has a magical year. We're not paying attention to.
I think the Brewers are concerning because we don't understand.
Yes, I don't get
the
it.
more good players they get rid of, the better they become. I mean, imagine how good they'll be next year after shedding more salary, maybe trading away a few more pitchers. They're going to be unbeatable. They're going to win 115 games after they get rid of everybody. But yeah, I don't look at that lineup and go, that's the team I'm scared of in the playoffs, Paul, but they've been playing by far the best baseball of anyone in both leagues.
Yeah, you got to respect them for sure. I'm right there with you. Like, I don't know, until you get it done in October, I guess it's just, I don't view you as so much of a threat. I'm with Chris. My answer, we talked about a little bit this morning. I think it's the Phillies. They are such a complete team. I think they're very comparable to the Padres now, especially post trade deadline. I see a lot of similarities between the two teams, but that's the team that scares me. And I was just waiting to see if anybody was going to pull the old, anybody outside of the Dodgers who can beat us? We're the only team that can beat us. Like, I was waiting for that philosophical answer. The Padres are the only team standing in the Padres.
You're waiting for
way.
a philosophical answer from this group.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have to wait too long. It didn't come, but no, I think it's the Phillies for sure.
All right. It's our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented commercial-free by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. It really is pizza royalty. I like to address the element of the fan base out there. We call them the Doomers. And they certainly exist, looking for what is going to go wrong next. Because, in 57 years of franchise history, the wrongs have outweighed the rights for Padres fans. So let me ask you guys, and put on your glasses half empty perspective. If something does go wrong, what do you worry most about going wrong, Chris, for the Padres the rest of the season? What's the biggest concern remaining internally for the San Diego Padres? Other than playoff randomness, just like actual, a concern that you'd have about this team.
I think the offense, from a Doomer perspective, the offense is overperforming right now. I hope they continue it. I kind of think they will, but bottom 3 in the order, OPS since the trade deadline is 300 points higher than it was before. Doesn't seem sustainable. I know that they're off to all a good start. I'm also concerned about Bogarts batting 5th. He was dropped to 6th yesterday. I think I'd keep him down there. Despite a great turnaround season, he's still hitting 152 with runners in scoring position. I cannot live with that. And I think we should all maybe have a little chat about the new Fernando Tatis Jr. and whether that is an improved Fernando Tatis Jr.
It's a question coming up.
Okay, so we'll save that then. But that's another, he hasn't been the dominant offensive player that he had been. So the offense going back to the other offense is my only doomer concern.
Matt Skraby, you're always good at coming up with concerns. So I'm sure you've got at least one.
I had one that immediately popped in mind, and it would be the bullpen. Even though they're the super bullpen, the Padres rely on the bullpen a lot. And if the bullpen is not the bullpen that we're used to seeing, then they're going to lose that game. And it seems like Mike Schill is content with letting his starters go 4 or 5 and then turning it over to the bullpen. And those guys, for the most part, get the job done. But every once in a while, they don't get the job done. We saw Robert Suarez give up a game-tying home run in the 9th last week. The bullpen scares me a little bit because they put so much pressure on them.
He says he's not content,
I was gonna say,
but then his actions state otherwise. He's like the guy who always says, "I'll start my diet tomorrow." I know I need my starting pitchers to go deeper in the game, but that bullpen looks so delicious. I just can't resist opening up the fridge in the 4th inning and going to Jason Adams.
I'm going to tell the director on the Padres telling us, stop showing Mike Schilt in the top of the 5th inning. As soon as we see him, he then appears on the field and out goes the starting pitcher.
But then J.P. Sears goes 5 innings, no questions asked. It's so confusing.
Well, that's because he was behind by so many runs, and
he's got to eat it.
And you know what? The starting pitching is a bit of a victim of how good the Padres play because they're in so many games. When it becomes high leverage and it's a 1-run game one way or the other, and it's the 5th inning, and you got runners on base. Yeah, I would want a fresh arm who can strike someone out, and they have so many options to do that. Braden?
My concern is the starting pitching. I think, and hopefully Dylan Cease can replicate what he has done. We've seen the spurts. Nick Pivetta is having the best year he has ever had, at least statistically, which is great for the Padres, and hopefully continues that. But there's still question marks with Michael King coming back. I think he's going to be fine, but it's still a little bit of a concern. Yu Darvish, I think, has reinvented himself as finding ways to get guys out. But again, he's still coming back from injury. I thought Nestor Cortez did a good job settling in yesterday after giving up 2 runs, but he put a lot of eggs in the Nestor Cortez basket down the stretch. And J.P. Sears did not impress me at all. I will say a lot of his numbers are inflated in ballparks that are places where the ball carries as a fly ball pitcher, which was what the case was in Sacramento. Arizona, another hitter-friendly ballpark. So I will understand all the excuses that were potentially made for J.P. Sears, but I look at the starting rotation with even Randy Vasquez, and to me, like down the stretch, even though you're not going to need him as much in the playoffs, you traded away a lot of depth at the deadline to acquire good pieces for this team. So the lack of starting pitching depth is a little bit of a concern if I had to pick one.
Paulie, where's the potential trap door? The ground falling out from beneath the Padres' feet.
I probably lean with Chris there. I know we're going to get to Fernando here in a minute. Something just seems a little bit off still, but he's still he's able to make an impact on every game. Even when he could go over and still make an impact, a positive impact on the game. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. I think right now it's mostly just Michael King. I think Saturday is going to answer hopefully a lot of questions, and it's really going to be him moving forward, because when I start thinking about any potential playoff rotations or whatever, it's always focused around Michael King, Nick Pivetta, Yu Darvish, and then after that it's Dylan Cease, play the hot hand. I'm not expecting J.P. Sears or even Nestor Cortez really to get many, if any, starts in the playoffs. I think you could be looking at bullpen games like we saw the Dodgers use so well in the postseason last year. But Michael King is such a huge key part of that rotation, not just for the playoffs. It's definitely for the next, 47 games coming down the stretch. I know he's not coming off a structural arm injury, and that's a good thing, but he's still been gone for 2+ months, 3 months now almost. That's my only concern right now. My biggest concern.
I tend to kind of think like Braden, that starting pitching is maybe the weak spot. It's more of a regular season. If you want to catch the Dodgers, win the division, and maybe get a bye, you got to win a lot of games going forward, which means you need to win your 4th and 5th starter games pretty often down the stretch. And I don't know that the Padres have the starting pitching depth to go on that kind of run. Now, I think they'll get to the playoffs, and once they get there, it's not as much of a concern. You can go to your bullpen heavily and often with so many days off built into the postseason. If you get 4 great innings out of Yu Darvish, I don't think you're going to see him a third time through the order. I don't think you're going to see many guys a third time through the order. Maybe Pivetta, maybe King. That's about it, because Mike Schultz is going to be really aggressive in the postseason. But to win the division, you need consistent starting pitching. It's the one thing we really haven't seen from the Padres so far this year.
But have they been given a chance? And that's what Skraby's point is. And a rarity here has occurred. Skraby made an excellent point. Look, if the Padres bullpen does at all, fade in September, if it does, then it's going to be on Mike Schultz and his inability to put his diet, or inability to start the diet. Because there's I don't know how many examples of a guy really not being in any kind of major danger at all coming out of a game in the 5th inning. It's happened all year long to almost all these pitchers. So Mike Schultz, let's see. He's going to take the criticism if that happens, and I'm sure he's willing to.
All right, let's turn the attention to Fernando Tatis Jr., as Chris alluded to. Piece by Kevin Acee in the Union Tribune on the new and maybe improved Fernando Tatis Jr., maybe not. But Fernando talking about having to accept what he's been given from opposing pitchers, taking more walks. His walk rate is the highest it's ever been. His on-base percentage is way up, but the slugging percentage, the home runs are down. And Fernando, at least in the media, is saying, I have to be good with that for now, because I'm not the best version of myself if I'm trying to chase pitches and hit the ball out of the ballpark. But Braden, is that the best thing for the San Diego Padres? Is that the best version of Fernando Tatis Jr.? Are you okay with him just accepting, I'm going to get pitched around and I just can't swing at those pitches anymore and just take my walks and try to do something from there?
Yeah, because the alternative to that is him swinging at all those pitches and swinging outside the zone and having that flailing swing at that pitch low and away. And that is what leads to more problems, obviously. They're going to keep doing that to try to avoid, putting the ball into a place where Fernando could do damage with it. And if Fernando takes a walk, that's a win for the San Diego Padres, because he's getting a guy on base that's very scary on the base paths. Now, from the other perspective, too, eventually these guys are going to miss, and he's got to be able to hammer the mistakes when they miss across the plate. And if he's swinging at pitches out of the zone because he wants to go do damage on pitches that he can't do damage with, they're going to continue to throw them. And eventually, if they have to get in a spot where they can't walk him or they can't be careful with him, they might make a mistake. And when that mistake is made, the really good hitters in Major League Baseball make teams pay. And so you have a little bit of a different situation than Fernando's used to. But the version of him being disciplined at the plate and not chasing outside the zone and only swinging at pitches he could do damage with, that I think in the long term is going to make him an even better offensive player than he already is.
Paul, I don't think Fernando's ever going to turn into like Juan Soto in terms of how much he takes pitches. And based on the reaction in San Diego, I'm sure Padres fans don't really want him to turn into Juan Soto. It's not bad to not chase pitches. Showing discipline at the plate is good. And with a lengthened lineup and more guys hitting well behind you, it actually could be good for the Padres just to have Fernando out there on the base paths.
Yeah, he's still an absolute freak on the base paths and a total game changer. I think with the the pitch selection, yeah, I'm fine with it, because I remember like back in April, even like all of us, we were praising Fernando. Like, man, remember last year he swings at that pitch, that ball that's away and in the dirt, and he wasn't doing that as much, and that showed like a positive improvement for me. I don't know what's going on with the power. I really don't. I guess we could it's probably easier to just chalk it up to it's just not getting those pitches to hit. I agree with Braden. Like, the alternative is what? We want him to swing at those? I don't want that either. I don't see him becoming that Juan Soto. He's only looking up there to walk or anything like that. And as long as he can produce in the field and on the base pass until he starts getting some pitches to hit, I'm fine with it. I don't have a whole lot to complain about with Fernando Tatis Jr.
Chris, I'm usually of the mind that you can't make major changes in the middle of the season. And Saris from The Athletic often tells us that Fernando's not pulling the ball as much. That's how you get power, especially at Petco Park, is you pull the ball in the air. But we've seen Xander Bogaerts make some changes, and he seems to be pulling the ball in the air. I don't know. Is there somewhere in the middle for Fernando Tatis Jr. where you can still not chase the outside pitches, but start attacking those inside ones and pull the ball and hit a few more home runs and find really the best version of himself going forward?
Yeah, I don't think this is the best version of him at all. And I think he has to try to find it. And he's got to make them pay a little bit more for what Braden talked about, the mistakes. He's got to start hitting the ball with more authority. I appreciate his improved eye, but he's being paid like he's Aaron Judge. He's hitting like he's Luis Ariz. So that, I think, factors into this a little bit. He's paid to knock the ball over and against the wall. The difference we talked about already with the Dodgers versus the Padres is the power, the slug, the 3-run homer. Where's Fernando to hit some of those 3-run homers? I think they need him going forward to be a little bit more of a threat. And so I'm taking the walks. I'm taking the fact that they're winning games. But I'll tell you one thing. If they weren't winning a bunch of games right now, I think a lot of people will be looking in Fernando's direction.
Matt, I know a lot of people, online especially, will say Fernando's not the same since he got popped for the PED suspension. He still hits the ball as hard. He still has the same bat speed. He just doesn't hit it in the air as much. He's hitting the ball on the ground. I don't think PEDs help you hit the ball in the air. I could be wrong, but I feel like it might be.
Should we try it? Should we have Ben take some PEDs and see how his golf swing does?
See the launch angle?
A little experiment. Let's see.
Can you ask her questions with a little more authority?
I mean, I'm not sure about that one exactly. That Fernando player, where do you feel like his sweet spot is in terms of what the Padres need?
I've gone back and forth on this all year, but I don't know that he's in the right spot in the order. I don't know that they're setting him up for success, because if he's the first hitter of the game, why not just put him on, try to roll into a double play, something like that. And with the new lineup that they have options to put him maybe third or fourth. I know they will never drop him past fourth, but can you imagine Fernando coming up in the 6th spot? That would be hectic for pitchers. I don't think they'll ever do that, but I don't know that they're setting him up for success. And I think his sweet spot is when he is able, as you guys all said, to hit pitches in the zone, and they're just not throwing them to him right now.
All right. Well, I'm glad you brought up moving Fernando in the order, because I wanted to use the panel for a moment and give Mike Schilt some advice that he does not want to hear at all.
I'm sure he's going to be taking notes right now.
Yeah, he is going to completely ignore this segment that he wasn't listening to anyway.
We could hope that his agent would be paying attention, but apparently he doesn't have an agent.
Let's tinker with the Padres lineup now with all these new pieces. In particular, my question is, where should Ramon Laureano be hitting in the Padres lineup? Because he seems like he's too good to be hitting 7th or 6th, where we've seen him a lot. Now, yesterday he was 2nd when Fernando was given a day off, but I don't know that will hold. I mean, Chris, where do you think? I mean, Laureano has been one of the premier offensive players in baseball this year, and it looks like he's going to continue that, at least so far with the Padres. Where do you bat that guy in your order?
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, you look at his career, man. He's a 750 slug or OPS. This year's OPS is better than Manny Machado's. He's got speed enough. I think he could honestly hit leadoff. I am, just intrigued by the idea of Fernando batting 5th or 6th. We already talked about Bogaerts, as much as he's improved, and, there's no question. I can't keep him there hitting 152 with runners in scoring position. So I would be inclined to move Laureano first. I've said so many times that Ariz can't lead off because he stops the line. So I can't change now. I'll put Laureano above him, Ariz, then Manny, then O'Hearn even is fine, or Jackson. Man, Tatis 5th. I'll even drop Bogey to 7. Man, it's a nice, delicious problem to have.
I think the part of the problem here, Braden, and kind of Skraby alluded to it when he said Tatis 6. That seems way too low. But if you want to keep a righty-lefty-righty balance and move a righty and Ramon Laureano up, You can't move Manny down. So if you do Manny second and Laureano fourth, that really does kind of either you're going to have a long righty lane or you have to drop Tatis to sixth. And I think, Braden, that Mike Schilt is pretty against dropping Fernando Tatis that low in his order.
Yeah, he probably is. I asking like where Laureano should hit. I mean, Laureano hitting second behind Fernando wouldn't be too bad. I think that'd be kind of fun to watch. I'm not a huge, some people are. I'm not huge into the righty lefty lane stuff. I know analytically, there's a case for it, and I just don't think it's honestly that big of a deal. And I know a lot of coaches throughout baseball. It's a very hit and miss kind of spot. So, but for me, I still like Fernando batting leadoff. I think that what he brings to the table is dynamic, and him not performing right now doesn't take away from the fact that he is arguably your best athlete on the team. So I like Fernando 1. And watching Laureano hit, I like having a bat 2. A high put the ball in play guy, but he's also got some slug. Manny batting 3. Your cleanup hitter, honestly, Ryan O'Hearn, I think would be a good spot for a cleanup hitter. And then now all of a sudden you're thinking about the guys that are left, and you got Arise. You still have guys like Bogarts and Merrill and Freddie Fermin, obviously, and you just go down the list. Your 5 through 9 are going to be some guys that can hit, and there's going to be guys down there that can start some rallies, which is great to see. So, if I'd have put Laureano somewhere, I'd probably bet him second. I still like Merrill kind of batting second too. We haven't seen too much of that. They kind of dabbled in it a little bit and got away from it, but Fernando Merrill 1-2, I think, is a great way to start off the game.
Yeah, I don't think you can go righty with Fernando, Laureano, Machado 1, 2, 3.
I don't think he'll do it.
They're probably your best hitters. Which lefty do you pick up there? I mean, Paulie, I'll say it again. I think Luis Arraez is a great table setter, but I think he should be setting the table more for the bottom of your order, like in the 6th or 7th spot as you come back around, or even 8th.
Hell of an 8 hitter.
Man, he would be a
the other
great
thing you could do. The other thing you could do that some teams do is you stack it 1 through 4, 1 through 4, and then he's your fifth hitter
guy,
but he's like a second. He's like another leadoff group, and so you bat. Well, your 1 and 5 are your 1s. Your 2 and 6 are your 2s. Your 3 and 7s or 3s, whatever like that, and you go down the list, and the 9 is just whoever your 9's going to be. You stack it twice, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
We all understand, but please forgive him.
Paulie, what do you think here? I mean, a red hot Merrill at 3rd behind Tatis and Laureano ahead of Machado would be good, but maybe it's O'Hearn as your lefty there. I'm just not sure what the best way to do this is.
We're still waiting kind of to see what they do with O'Hearn.
Yeah.
He's
even playing.
The usage has been very odd since we've acquired him, so I'm not sure what was going on there. So I kind of like the book is still out on how they're going to utilize O'Hearn. I mean, I think for me, look, Fernando's my leadoff hitter. I mean, until somebody like proves that they are clearing away a better leadoff type player, it's Fernando. He's so electric. I know he's having a down year, but like the ceiling and the potential that he has to start things off for your lineup, I want him in the number 1 spot. I would probably go him, Merrill, Manny, and then from there, there's definitely some debate. I think I agreed with what Chris said earlier about moving Bogarts down. Like, as good of a year as he's had, those numbers with runners in scoring position are just a little bit jarring. Short sample size, but he did have some success in the 6 hole yesterday. I think that might be a good spot for him. But I like the the Tatis Merrill combo 1 and 2. I would drop Luis Arraez down a little bit. I think I would agree with you.
The thing is with like moving these guys down, it's not a bad thing. That's like a really good thing. If you look at teams that win the World Series, go look at their lineup. Who's hitting 7, 8, 9. Jake Cronenworth's hitting 8 or 9 on most teams that have won a World Series in the last handful of years. Xander Bogaerts at this point in his career is like a 7, 8, 9 hitter on a World Series caliber team. You got Cronenworth and Bogaerts 7 and 8. You got a pretty good lineup out there doing some serious damage.
I think it's also important to remember that opposing teams aren't nibbling and pitching Fernando off the plate because they think he's such an easy out and he's not dangerous. They're not throwing him pitches because they're still terrified of him. However, whatever his numbers are, he still terrifies opposing teams.
Did anyone else find it interesting? We didn't find this interesting because O'Hearn hit a home run. But you had a lefty on the mound. You had Fernando on the bench. and you didn't pinch hit there and use Fernando
Did you
lead off the ninth inning. What happened there?
Mike Schultz's explanation was pretty clear.
Okay.
Fernando was off. He wasn't even dressed.
Okay.
He didn't even have his uniform on.
Okay.
I mean, I guess in an emergency, he could have gone back to the clubhouse and put it on. But he told Fernando, don't even prepare for the game.
Okay.
You don't need to scout. You are not getting
Jesse
in
said
under
it on
any
the broadcast. He said
circumstance.
he was alluding to that. Like, the Padres do have an interesting player on their bench available potentially for a pinch hit spot who's not usually available. And then the camera panned over to Fernando. He's in a t-shirt. Like, he was not. He was in no way prepared.
He's got a drink with an umbrella in it.
He was just hanging.
He's on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, it is our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable. It is presented commercial-free by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. It really is pizza royalty. And after using that breaking the diet, cheating metaphor, I thought for today's seventh inning stretch, keep it a little fun and light. Today's question is, we'll start with Matt Skraby. What is your all-time favorite fast food order? And I want all the details. I want the restaurant, your main dish, your modifications, your side, and your drink.
Oh,
Your
man.
go-to.
Why is he going
fast
first? We're not
food
going to have
order.
time. The rest of us.
Wow. So we're just talking
Fast
chain
food. Chain fast food. McDonald's,
Okay.
In-N-Out, Burger King, Carl's Jr.,
I did not
Wendy's.
expect for this.
I mean, you
but-
got to have something from, even if this is back in the nostalgic days before, getting
Okay,
in a little better
nostalgic
shape. Yeah, it
days.
doesn't have to be today. It's just like, what was in your life? What was your go-to fast food order?
I absolutely loved getting the ultimate cheeseburger with the curly fries and 2 tacos and maybe an egg roll.
And maybe an egg roll on the side.
Yes.
This is Jack in the Box?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Jack in the
All
Box.
right.
Yeah.
Paulie, what was your go-to fast food order back in the day? Just because we're all now very healthy people, we wouldn't do that.
right.
Now, this is all
Hard
back
for
in the
me
day.
to remember.
Hypothetical back in the day.
I would die if I
Yeah.
ate that now.
Yeah.
Well, you clarify back in the day because they didn't have In-N-Out where I grew up back in the day. Otherwise, that would have been my choice. Back in the day, I'd have to go, honestly, it was probably Mickey D's. And even though I don't particularly even like McDonald's that much, like I think there are plenty of better fast food choices than McDonald's, but I think it was the number 7, at least at the time, the 2 cheeseburgers, the plain basic cheeseburgers, no pickles, fries and a drink. It hit for me.
Braden Soprenit, fast food go-to.
I love fast food. I haven't had it. I don't eat it as
No,
much
none of us
anymore.
have, of course.
I honestly
got a lot of
don't.
us.
But
It's a safe
when
place.
high school me playing high school football, I could crush a lot of fast food when I was in high school. Since he took McDonald's, I'm gonna go back with. I don't go there anymore. It doesn't satisfy my needs as much as it used to. But Jack in the Box, I'd do an ultimate cheeseburger. I'd get fries and a Oreo shake, and then I'd definitely get 2 tacos, because if you go to Jack in the Box, you have to get 2 tacos. You have to get the 2 tacos.
I've never understood the tacos.
It's so
I
good.
love the Jack in the
They're
Box.
so
Me
good.
too.
Me too.
Not
Yeah.
They're
great.
so the slice of American cheese in there. Are you kidding me? It's
Envelope with
delicious.
wet cat food, and it's delicious.
That's awesome. And then I get because again in high school I could eat a lot of food. Some jalapeno poppers too. I'd throw those out.
Ooh.
That was the good thing
All right.
about the good thing about Jack in the Box. When I was in college, they had the munchie meal, like when it first debuted, and they had loaded nuggets, which they haven't brought back since, and those were amazing as well. But Jack in the Box has a lot of great, just all sorts of just random stuff.
I have no idea where Chris is going to go with this.
Chris?
He's got a long life. He has a lot of choices.
Chris went to the original McDonald's.
I've seen back in the day. Chris could pack it away.
Here's how much
I've seen Chris eat. I just don't know what he's going to choose.
I've seen Chris's Jersey Mike's order.
Oh yeah.
He's
got his own pizza. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's right. He does. He does
has
have
his own pizza over here.
Here's how much I can eat. On road trips before the DoorDash and the delivery services used to call your own Chinese restaurant and have them bring it. I'd order so much food that they'd always bring 2 plates, 2 sets of silverware,
Amazing. I
2
love
sets
that.
of everything. And the guy'd come in and put it all down, and he's like looking around, and I would just, you just assume there's a second
the other
person.
room.
You're in the bathroom.
Yeah, there isn't.
That's how I feel when I go
So-
to taco shop.
Yeah, that's how much I can eat.
That's what I should have done.
But you mentioned the taco shop. I think that qualifies as fast food, does it not?
It does. I should have done.
Yeah, I practically lived my life waiting for 3-roll tacos and guacamole at Roberto's.
You live your life.
In college,
It's pretty heavenly,
okay,
dude.
all right.
For at least 5 years college.
Chris is so old. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Yes.
same.
It's like
I'm
a
in
go
the same
ahead.
boat.
joke.
They didn't have 5-roll tacos back in the day.
No, you had only got 3. You only got 3. You had to get 2 orders.
Kind of a modern.
Yeah, right. You had to get 2
deal.
orders. I mean, when we'd start partying on Friday or Saturday night, I started looking at my watch. When is it going to be 2 a.m.?
When is it roll taco time?
Right. So roll tacos, guacamole, sometimes the carne asada burrito. That's it for me.
All right, I've got 2 answers. Every Saturday night in college, every Saturday night. Saturday Night Live, large round table pepperoni pizza every single time. But in high school, I went to Torrey Pines, and there was McDonald's right across
Yes.
the street.
Oh, yeah.
So
The fancy one.
I could go
It's no
off
longer
campus once
fancy.
you were a junior. You could go off campus for lunch. And every other day when I went off campus for lunch, same meal every single time. 9 chicken McNuggets, sweet and sour sauce, large fries, and a large high-C orange.
Wow.
Every single time. I know it's kind of a weird one.
How many dipping sauces? Because now they limit you depending on how many.
I'd
nuggets
have
you
to,
order.
so I get 2, and you'd have to use every last drop.
Yes.
To get it to like portion it out for 9 McNuggets. Like, don't put too much on the first one, or you're not going to have any sweet and sour
Yeah.
sauce left
Yeah.
for the last McNugget. So you got to be very, very careful in how you use your fast food sauces. Yeah, now they just give you sauce. You just ask for it, but they didn't used to do that either.
Well, then they're like, "Do you want to pay extra for the sauce?" No, I don't.
I don't want to pay 50
35
cents for the
cents or
ranch,
whatever
dude.
it is for the sauce.
All right, last few minutes.
Add in 10 more cents for a bag, and you're out of money.
I know Chris doesn't like to do this, but let's evaluate the trade deadline, not based on what they got, but how the Padres now look in the future, specifically next year. How do you evaluate the trade deadline moves, knowing Laureano should be back, put him into the outfield for next year on a player option, on a team option. JP Sears could be back in your rotation next year, and you've got Mason Miller, obviously, probably moving into your bullpen. Are these moves that were made good for the Padres next year, Matt Skraby?
Yes and no. Mason Miller being your closer for the next 4 years with his contract control is a huge win. But I also think that they have guys departing in free agency, most likely. Dylan Cease, Luis Arraez. I mean, we've gone over the list. So I don't know that they did themselves any real benefit for next year, but AJ will figure it out and he'll get the guys in there. He'll find some contract that no one else will give, Nick Pivetta or something, Gavin Sheets. But I think that they improved it in the way of Mason Miller being your closer for the future, but otherwise they are going all in this year.
Paulie, what do you think about next year now? Just past whatever happens this year. Are the
Yeah.
Padres better off for next year now?
I think they are better off. I do think there's going to be some holes in the starting rotation that absolutely will need to get addressed. We'll deal with that in the offseason, though. Looking at next year's roster compared to this year, you were thinking, who's playing? Same questions that we had really coming into this year. Who's catching? Who's playing left field? We've got those figured out. Oh, my God. Suarez is definitely opting out. We're losing him. Boom, you just replaced him with Mason Miller. So I think in general, I think the Padres are better positioned for next year. You know, you figure out what to do with a Luis Arraez if he moves on, and you figure out the rotation, assuming Dylan Cease does in fact sign with another team. You know, what does Michael King do? He's the one that I just have no idea. Like, I can 100% see him going, I'm going to get paid, and the Padres can't afford him, and he's gone. I can also see a situation in which he wants to stay here, and maybe it's I don't want to say team friendly, because I think those should never happen, team friendly contracts, but you can get creative in how the contract is structured. Michael King's a guy I really don't want to lose. Like, I'm glad they kept Dylan Cease. I was kind of on the train of keep Cease, don't trade him this year. Shake his hand at the end of the season, say thank you for your time, good luck in free agency, go get the bag, etc. Michael King's the one where I'm like, God, I wish they could bring. I really hope they can bring him back, but that's such a question mark right now.
Braden, here's what I like. if you don't even bring back a single free agent next year, I think the Padres can put a pretty good darn lineup on the field next year. You've got Laureano, Merrill, and Tatis in the outfield, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, and you play Sheets at first base under control, Fermin behind the plate. You've got a pretty good lineup already next year. Now, will they be able to augment, though? Because after trading so many prospects, where's your capital if you need to go out and trade for another pitcher? You need to trade for another bat. It's becoming pretty thin. In that sense, I'm a little more concerned about going into next year, but I think you're in a better starting position, at least going into next spring training, than you were at this time last week.
I think they made 90% of their offseason moves at the trade deadline. I think they accounted for a lot of the things that they knew that they had to address going into the offseason. And Paul mentioned it. Outfield is set. Your catching situation is set. Your infield basically is set. If you want to add a first baseman, you can. The bench obviously needs to be redone. You look at the starting rotation, and there's obviously question marks. What Yu Darvish is going to do. He's supposed to be back next year. Nick Pivetta is going to be back next year. You get J.P. Sears is under contract, and you have Joe Musgrove coming back next year in some capacity, obviously. So you have, probably 4 of your guys, and who knows what you do with Randy Vasquez. But you have the opportunity to add a little bit. And as you mentioned, Ben, I agree. They have a pretty solid bullpen still coming back next year, and starting rotation and overall roster. There's not too many glaring holes. In fact, I would say there's probably less glaring holes going into this offseason than there were going into last offseason. I agree with Paul. They got to bring back Michael King is with by any means necessary, and let Dylan Cease walk would probably be my answer on that as well. I did find it interesting today. Kevin Acee put out in his daily newsletter that AJ Preller threw in more prospects to get the Orioles to pay for Ryan O'Hearn and for Ramon Laureano's contract down to league minimum. So the Padres are only paying a couple $100,000 for those guys to finish the season. So they're doing what they need to do to save the money they need to save, to stay underneath the thresholds. A.J. Preller's done a great job doing that. The one thing I'll say about the future of the prospect capital, we have said this now for the last every year for the last 5 years, and the Padres are going to have, unless something catastrophically bad happens, make the playoffs for the 4th time in 6 years. That is sustained success if you're the San Diego Padres. Making the playoffs 4 times out of 6 years for what they were before, and we're trading – how many players have they traded out of the system? That's pretty sustained success. They've proven that they can do it. They've proven that they can reload, and they'll find prospects to trade.
Chris, you usually care the least about mortgaging the future for the present, but maybe they didn't mortgage at least the near future as badly as some people think.
I don't think they did. I think that was the genius of what AJ did at the trade deadline for all the reasons all these guys just said. Just as a quick aside, I've been thinking about going and getting rolled tacos after the show now that we brought it up. A friend of mine, Braden knows him, Ken, he brought this up last night, and I thought it was a fair point, and we haven't talked about it, and unfortunately we won't have time to kick it around too much. But it is possible that in a year or two, baseball is going to go on a lengthy work stoppage. Does anyone think that played into what the Padres did in terms of trying to win now, trying to win next year? Because who knows what's going to even happen after next year because of baseball.
Yeah, I think it's a factor. I don't know that I'd say it was like a sole decision, but I think it's only human for that to be a factor. Yeah. Like Manny Machado getting a year older, is another factor. Like, capitalize on the prime, capitalize on the window now, deal with next year, and then deal with, we're talking, everybody's up in arms because we traded DeVries. I'm like, he wasn't going to be here for at least 2, 3, 4 years. We'll deal with that a little bit further down the road.
Yeah, let's be honest. This is AJ Preller. He was going to go for it anyway. Yes. No matter what the labor situation was in the future, it's a nice little, nugget you can add. And hey, we'll be aggressive because we don't know what the future may hold.
Leo DeVries may never have a league to play in.
He was going to be aggressive no matter what. We should have all seen it coming. We speculated for months on what he was going to do, buy and sell, buy on the margins. This is AJ Preller. It's go big or go home for this general manager. It's one of the great things about him. At some point, will it be his undoing? Probably. Probably there will one day be a piper to be paid, but he's good at pushing that down the road as far as possible. Just keep kicking that can down until he's absolutely, completely out of options. But he still has some, still has Salas in the minor leagues, a couple other things that he could play with if he needs to in the future. All right. Great job, everybody. We'll see what happens this week. Some big games against the Boston Red Sox, and then it's Giants-Dodgers. So a couple of huge weeks for your San Diego Padres. That's it for our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. It really is pizza royalty. For Matt Skraby, Paul Reindl, Braden Soprenet, and Chris Ello, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your day from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.